Safety Cameron Bynum was a recent guest on the Insiders program and was asked his take on the team's quarterback competition between veteran Sam Darnold and this year's first-round pick, J.J. McCarthy. Bynum saying, quote, "They're both looking really good. I'm excited to see them compete. They're both looking good, so I can't put one over the other. I just say they both look ready. Whatever coaches decide, I trust them and their decision." This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
They say health is wealth, and I could not agree more. That's why if you or somebody in your life is living with everyday aches and pains, I want to tell you about Relief Factor. And I'm telling you, I can feel the difference. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that helps fight pain naturally. Naturally. Now that's a big deal. Developed by doctors. Relief Factor's unique formula of ingredients all work together to help support your body's response to inflammation. Instead of masking pain for a couple of hours, Relief Factor actually helps reduce or even eliminate your pain for good. Whether it's neck, back, joint, or muscle pain, if you're looking to feel better, live better, give Relief Factor a try. In 3 weeks, you will know if it's working because you'll feel it. For instance, I was sent Relief Factor to try, and I've been taking it every single day. I'll tell you what, I feel the difference every day. Go to ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF. Save on your first order. Don't let pain tell you how to live. Fight back naturally with Relief Factor. These products and statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or...
Host is roasting every morning. Host is roasting every day.
Host Coffee stands as the vibrant heart of every break room, offering the unique fusion of traditional quality and modern flair. We're not just your coffee provider, we're the center of memorable workplace moments. Call Host Coffee today.
Proudly serving Nebraska since 1972. Host Coffee is always roasting something good for you.
Fellow Nebraskans, we need your help getting signatures to finally legalize medical marijuana. We only have 3 weeks left. Get to our state's best liquor stores, wine, beer, and spirits to name and sign. Support us at nmm2024.org to make donations. Let's go.
You know that dollar bill you've got stuffed in your wallet, purse, or pocket? Give it a little respect because it could win you millions. Lotto America from the Nebraska Lottery is here, and it only costs $1 to play. It has a $2 million starting jackpot with drawings every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. What's more, you can add the All-Star bonus for an additional $1 to multiply any prize won. So unwrinkle that dollar bill in your glove box and play today. Lotto America top prize odds 1 in 26 million.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/radio. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/radio and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free, with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio for your free online visit. hims.com/radio.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
When you're rolling Charmin up your soft on the party, this is more, so roll it back, everybody. Charmin's irresistible soft and hella nice. My grip is always soft. It's our party vibe. She's cushion and face, so our chicks feel fly. So every booty wanna touch the sky.
Charmin Ultra Soft is irresistibly soft and more absorbent, so you can use less. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
Roofing, siding, and gutters. Make the right call with the rooferys at John Higgins Weather Guard.
1620 The Zone.
That ball is driven to right, and a no doubt about it, Laviolette bomb. 1-0 Aggies, bottom of the first. Jace Laviolette's 29th of the year, and first here in Omaha. Two down, top 8. That ball is driven to left field. He's watching, so is everyone else. It's out of here. Cal Kyle Stark, the 9-hole hitter, the catcher, hits his 11th and opens it up for the Vols. His first hit here in Omaha. 4-1 Tennessee. That ball is hammered, and that may end the 0. It is gone! Dylan Dreiling exits stage right, 22nd of the year, and the Vols finally break through to lead it 2-1. Tennessee forces a game 3.
I think our kids kept their composure in that 9th inning. I know it was an exciting win, maybe not the sexiest or whatever you want to call it. I'd rather go into battle with that group the way they showed up today.
Yeah? Live from 50th and Capitol Avenue in the Big O. This is Mornings with Sharp and Handley on 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com, and 1620 The Zone TV. Now here's Gary, Nick, and Jimmy.
I just got 3 things to say. God bless our troops. God bless America. And gentlemen, start your
And a PSA, hydrate, boys and girls. Good Monday morning, live and local to kick off a huge sports day in a fat man's weight loss paradise, Omaha, Nebraska, where it's going to be hot and it's going to be a full of a day of joy and pain. Why can't we have Rob Bass and DJ Easy Rock with joy and pain? Because that's what today's sports day is going to be, because we have a banger. And I mean a banger, boys. This is what we live for, to have Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals with one team trying to come back from down 3-0, trying to make a piece of history that doesn't happen very often. And then we get, because we've been clamoring for it, people that have been in our fine community for 2 weeks that would like to stay longer. They might even move here. We get a Game 3 winner take all, Texas A&M, Tennessee. There will be joy. There will be pain. There will be, hopefully, multiple overtimes and multiple extra innings and less people being carted out because they forgot to hydrate and they endured the feel-like temperature today of 105 to 110 in Omaha, Nebraska.
Oh, they're so used to this in the SEC. So used to this.
Oh, it's going to be hot. It might be miserable if you lose today. But welcome in, everybody. Busy show. What a weekend. Good sports weekend. Wild sports day yesterday. Mornings with Sharp and Handley. Jimmy is here as well. Jimmy, got a pain look on. What are you doing over there on the computer?
There's an 8-minute break later on in the show, and that's just not going to fly.
Whoa.
Okay.
I might be able to go and run some errands during that 8-minute break.
Good guess.
Hey, good on you for finding that. Good job.
Well, this isn't timing out correctly.
Yeah.
I think everybody got they kind of ease into what they're going to experience tonight, weather-wise, yesterday, though, with the 1 o'clock start. I mean, it wasn't all that comfortable. We were in the bleacher seats yesterday.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Today is one of those SPF 50 days.
Oh, yeah.
What were you going on? You don't ever, you always wear a hat.
Yeah,
but I'm
a
bald head
I'm
there.
always a solid 70. 50 to 70.
Come on.
I am 50 to 70. Yeah. Yeah. Anything less than that, I don't feel like the sun and I are, that sun's going to win the battle. Yep. So, yeah.
You know what? I'm not very responsible. I mean, that's pretty clear. Anybody that's been around me, at some point I'm going to grow up, but there are times, and this comes from a guy that has spent a lot of time in the state of Florida.
Well, yeah.
When you're close to the equator, that you wear long sleeves and you wear hats and you cover the back of your neck and all of that stuff, or you lather up in the sunscreen. So the other day I forgot to put on sunscreen and I got a little bright. Yeah. So aloe vera is actually my friend.
Oh, aloe vera is fantastic.
I mean, I think I like the feel of aloe vera
that I would put it on even if I didn't have a sunburn.
There's nothing wrong with that. There's no harm in that.
I just like the coldness as it seeps into your pores.
Yep. But I mean, you're right. You could do that whenever, but when you actually have a mild sunburn, if you want sweet relief right there, there it is. There it is.
So let's be smart out there, everybody. I just feel like I'm from Hill Street Blues. I don't know if you guys are a little bit younger.
I remember it. Yeah.
Let's all be safe out there.
Yeah.
But let's enjoy what we have again is a Game 3 winner take all. Tennessee winning yesterday against Texas A&M. And then we do have Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final. There will be joy. There will be pain. There will be pressure. There will be good moments. There will be bad moments. Yesterday was a good sports day. That was a good, you know what? Game 2 was good. It was good. We kind of had a letdown since the first couple of days. But yesterday was a good college baseball game that took two-run homers for Tennessee to stay alive to take on Texas A&M in Game 3 winner take all. You had Captain America scored in the first 3 minutes for Team USA yesterday against Bolivia in the Copa. You had let's see, what else do we have going
Guardians won 6-5, so that was great.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, there you go.
You like what's going on at Carnegie in Ontario?
How can you not? How can you? Carnegie in Ontario.
But yesterday, and then we had Tim Duncan had a good day golfing. We had protesters at the Travelers.
Yes. We had another Scotty Scheffler one.
We had Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese going at each other. We had Olympics, more spots taken up on the Olympic team. Yesterday was really like a sneaky good sports viewing day, but today is going to be one of the bangers, absolute banger, because at 6, you get the College World Series, and then an hour later, you get all of the panic of Sunrise, Florida, in what might be the most important sports event in South Florida in a long time tonight, when Florida tries to stave off Edmonton, who has come back from down 3-0 to force a Game 7. You know what? They always say it gets sleepy around here. Hell no.
No.
Hell no. So welcome, everybody, for another day of hanging in our community.
We're going to see a Tennessee or Texas A&M national champion for the first time in their baseball programs, which is awesome. And to your point yesterday.
I don't know that one of those winning is awesome. I think one fan base is more insufferable than the other.
With A&M?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like I love Tony V. I mean, he's the guy. He's not for everybody. Maybe that's why I like his personality.
Yeah.
I seem to be attracted to.
There's a lot of energy there.
That adage of, well, he's not for everybody. Oh, but Sharpie likes him.
Yeah.
I don't know that we can handle Texas A&M winning a national title. I think we could party with Tennessee winning a national title tonight.
Totally. And I think that would happen. I think I've said it a lot about Tennessee, of where I've come around on them the last couple of years, and having a chance to be around that team a year ago, or at least Tony V a year ago. And then, we talked to him this year. You've been around him a lot as well. You see that energy, whether you're watching the games on TV or you have a chance to be at the game, and the guy's everywhere. He's constantly moving. He's constantly working the umpires. I mean,
they wore
the players
black
respond
yesterday to basically say,
yeah, they did.
He pulled a Van Horn.
Yeah,
that's a Van Horn move when it's warm.
Yep.
They when Nebraska would wear black.
They're like, hell no, we don't care.
Uh-huh.
We absolutely don't care. And to that game yesterday too, it was a great game from the standpoint of, okay, A&M's now you're starting to count down outs. They get out of that 6th inning, you're counting down outs, and then you get the 2-run blast off a 95-mile-an-hour fastball, and you're like, all right, here we go. But was that enough? And then they bring the tying run to A&M brings the tying run to the plate on a warning track shot too, and you're thinking, oh my God, is this thing gonna get tied? And man, it was a good game. So I expect
it was
good.
It was a good college baseball game.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, Texas A&M played really well. It's just how baseball goes. And finally, Tennessee got a couple of key hits, and Cal Stark, who had been 0 for the College World Series, got a big blast. And I don't know. I like the matchup tonight. I'm thinking, and because they're going to go hand in hand.
Mm-hmm.
At least they're not starting at the same time, so we get an hour lead in with baseball.
Right.
And then if you want to dabble in hockey,
do it.
The phrase Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final, that's got to draw some people in that don't follow hockey.
Yes.
But all the pressure in that sport is on Florida. Who is all the pressure on in college baseball tonight?
That's a great question.
Texas A&M or Tennessee?
I always feel like if you're the team who won the first game and then you give up game 2, you're feeling it a little bit more. That's where I'm always at with that one because, okay, for Tennessee, yesterday was that day. Obviously, you're trying to stave off elimination. You're trying to play for another season. But the way that game played out, too, where A&M defensively was in control of that game, and then all of a sudden you get essentially 2 home runs that are the difference in that one. All of a sudden you're reeling where you were in that game at one moment thinking, okay, we're getting closer and closer and closer. So then it's an interesting rebounding type of situation there where I would say there's a little bit more pressure on A&M. I think Tennessee rolls in feeling a little bit better about just where they are. And I think Tony's even talked about the way they approached that game yesterday, a lot more like them, loose and whatnot.
Tennessee's a big favorite for tonight. They're minus 230.
Oh, wow.
To win game 3 tonight.
That's a little surprising. I think Tennessee should be the favorite, but
I mean, Kyle Peterson's nice enough to give us a couple of minutes here on the final day of the college baseball season. Is momentum a real thing?
Yeah.
Because remember last year, everybody remembers LSU, and I miss LSU. There's just
everybody does.
It's LSU is a walking one-man party.
Well, we talked to LSU fans on Saturday.
This has been fun, but not LSU-ish fun.
No, you're right.
But you remember what game 2 was last year between LSU and Florida?
Yeah, that was the big blowout one.
I mean, the last 2 games were blowouts, but yeah, the middle game, what Florida won 18-4.
Yeah, and you're like, whoa.
Or 20. What was the 24-4 game? That was the middle game.
Yeah, that was yeah.
Okay, so the 18-4 was the championship game.
Yes,
the winner take all.
Yeah.
So we'll get into momentum with Kyle Peterson because Texas A&M played well on Saturday night, and then Tennessee their backs were against the wall, and they responded in kind. I think the pressure's on Tennessee, even though they won yesterday. And their history will tell you that if you win game 2 and you force a game 3, you win. But remember, I mean, Texas A&M, are they supposed to be in this position?
I guess that's a fair point. Without the best player in Braden Montgomery, and there's also that whole number
Tennessee
1 seed that you're talking about.
The pressure on Tennessee to finish it.
Yeah, and trying to be that first team since '99. Number 1 seed.
I also like that we have a real pitching matchup. We're not having, openers.
Yeah.
We're having real starters.
Bullpen day.
I think it could be just a great game tonight. And again, the weather's going to be hot. I mean, we live in Omaha, Nebraska this time of the year. It's going to be a little bit more excessive than it has been because they've pulled out the feels like.
Yeah.
The feels like is 105 to 110.
And you got the heat advisory.
The first pitch is 99 degrees. So we'll get into some of the nuts and bolts, what happened yesterday, the whole series in general, because if we don't get like extra innings or something like memorable tonight, do we remember this College World Series?
I always want to say, yeah, we will, but
I'm going to say,
I don't know.
I'm going to save the Jeff Gluck who does NASCAR, and after every race he goes, "Was this a good race?"
Yeah.
I'll save that for tomorrow, but we don't have like after the first 3 games, the first 4 games, but we haven't really had anything memorable since.
No, you're right.
Hopefully we
You're
get
right.
something tonight that we remember the 2024 College World Series. But as I mentioned, Kyle Peterson will join us coming up 8. Evan Bland at 8:30. He'll be back again tonight to cover the College World Series for the Omaha World Herald. Jacob Bigelow stops by. That is the lineup brought to you by the Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard. We can chat about the College World Series or anything else you'd like to talk about. It was a good sports weekend. There is some Nebraska football news. Do you think the Raiolas will be at the 3rd straight College World Series game today?
We're talking about the little mock turtleneck with underneath the jersey from Saturday. It's a good look. It was kind of like the white version of the Tiger Woods Sunday, little mock turtleneck that he had going on too. Just trying to keep cool. But yeah, I think they'll be there.
I saw a Twitter account that said, boy, Raiola is really leaning into the Patrick Mahomes thing because he had on Saturday night, he was wearing a Nebraska baseball jersey with 15 on, which happens to be his number.
Yep.
I don't know if this Twitter account, which is college sports only, knows that he wears 15 and it's his son.
Yeah, the second part, I really wonder if they even.
Dom is just renting Dylan.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, he was there front and center. I guess Bishop made a request to interview him, and they declined.
Probably have to go through the university.
Would that
on that
be?
One. You have to go through Keith on that one.
You don't have to go through because of NIL now.
Oh, that is true.
Jesus, you just give him a radio show. Pay him $25 an hour and give him a radio show.
That's the going rate, huh? All right. That's a bargain.
That's what they're paying people. That's what I heard.
Yeah,
what I heard on the streets is $25 an hour.
$25 an hour. I thought you meant $25 for the whole thing. I'm like, whoa,
no, I think it's
whoa.
$25 an hour.
That sounds
What do we
right.
pay people to fill in here, Jimmy? Do they get $25 an hour?
75 unless they work here.
75 an hour?
Yeah. And if they already work
I'm
here,
going to quit
maybe
and come back as a fill-in. Make more money as a fill-in.
No.
I think it's 75 a
It's
show.
75 a show.
I think it's 75 a show.
Doing the math, $300. Let's see. I could fill in for vacation for 5 days, $1,500. Okay.
I'm gonna rework my deal right now. And
if that was the case, trust me, I would have probably said a few different things.
Oh, Jimmy, can you wait until 7? Only 25 minutes in.
Just saying the truth.
402-951-1620. That is the number to connect with the program at any point. It is the hotline brought to you by 42 Degrees The Source, by your mom's house. This is also draft week, the NBA draft. The 2-day affair comes your way this week, Wednesday. And then if you are subject to not getting drafted in the first round, you get drafted in the second round, you're going to be going in the daytime.
Yeah,
because there is a presidential debate on Thursday night,
That's
which
right.
I can't wait. We have overreaction coming up Thursday night after the debate.
We have big debate overreaction.
Yeah, you haven't seen the memo yet, but
Okay.
good luck there,
All
Nick.
right.
I'll be
Sounds good.
listening. I'll be
Okay.
listening from afar.
Oh, hot take it up.
You can hot take us in the Equitable Bank inbox, not hot boxes, but hot take us. That's still a thing. Jimmy?
Don't know.
I think edibles are more popular now anyway. So you don't have to hot box.
Hold on. What are you guys talking about? I'm talking about baseball. It's a College World Series. Hot box. You know, some of us called it pickle.
You said hot box. I thought you were talking about cookies. Okay.
Okay, well, we're all on completely different pages
All right.
here.
You've never heard of hot box cookies?
Let me take a 30 here for a moment. Okay, I was talking about baseball.
I was talking about the hot box.
No, you said something about gummies and edibles.
Yeah.
Nick's talking about weed. I'm talking about
weed.
cookies.
I was talking about weed.
That's a hot box?
You do the hot box where you would be in the car and then people would just be
Predator 2, King Willie.
Yeah, you would smoke in the car and then
you guys
then
really
you
need
just
to cut
create
back.
the fumes and then everyone in the car's getting high.
Yeah.
That's a hot box.
Wonderful.
You can do different types of hot box. You could do like the house hot box where everyone's got each level where everyone's smoking and then
just don't Bogart.
Yeah. That's also known as the hot box.
It's all connected.
Okay.
You're watching baseball.
Yeah.
You're enjoying your edible or whatever, however the hell you want to get high. And then you're eating a bunch of cookies.
Spin the wheel. Oh, darn.
And it comes back to the baseball game, which you're enjoying.
It's going to be a bong today.
Well, and then there is always the hot box that we also, some people would refer to as, the Dutch oven and,
yeah, I'm not
going
going
the covered wagon, all those.
I say I'm the negative one.
I knew you weren't talking about that.
I was just talking about baseball.
You had me at a baseball game just now.
I'm just throwing different ways that you could use the phrase hot box.
And you guys have gone to a dark world.
I don't know if it's dark.
It's pretty light, if you ask me.
I think it's just factual more than anything. There's just different ways to use the phrase hot box.
I only do legal stuff.
The only times I was accused of being happy.
For the record, I've never been a part of a hot box. I just know of them.
You seem to have a lot of details there. That's okay. I mean, I would be a little bit, you do have a 3-year-old in the house. I mean,
never too early to teach him how to roll.
In the Equitable Bank inbox, where they take banking personally.
Reese, I hope you're not up right now.
Is he a P1er?
Yeah, he's going to have questions. When he gets up from his nap, he tunes into the Counter Happer show.
Dad? Gary at 1620thezone.com.
Handley at 1620thezone.com.
At least for an hour. You can always hit us up on the JTech Construction Zone Twitter feed at Gary Sharp 1620.
At Nick Handley 1620.
Yes, Ed, who hit me up on Twitter. He said, you guys are talking about how hot it is, and I think Gary's drinking hot coffee.
Yeah. I am too, right now.
I did.
So
it's
I gotta
warm.
explain
It's
this.
summer.
I wanted an iced coffee the other day, and this was Saturday before I headed down for us to do. Well, no, this was in the morning
How's our guide doing? Was he there this morning?
Who?
For the
Oh,
coffee
no,
guy?
I didn't go there today.
Okay.
This is usually a Friday, Saturday stop. So I went there on Saturday, and I'm pretty sure I ordered iced coffee because it was already hot, and I wanted an iced coffee.
Sounds kind of
And
good.
I went to the window, and he handed me a hot coffee.
Yeah.
And I didn't really feel like saying, "Oh no," because the price is different. So I just accepted it, and I'm like, "It's 95 degrees. I am not drinking hot."
But did you
coffee."
accept it because you weren't sure if you made the mistake or if he made the mistake?
Well, sometimes when you're talking to the box,
yeah,
somebody,
yeah,
yeah, and maybe when they repeated it to me, I did not hear it correctly, so I said, "Yep, I'm good." So what I did is I did not drink it on Saturday. I put it in my fridge.
Oh, there you go.
And then
yeah.
leaving the house this morning, I'm like, okay, I'll warm it up.
Oh,
So threw it in the microwave, and then I'm drinking hot coffee.
I thought maybe you're going to just leave it in the fridge, throw some ice cubes in, and then you have iced coffee.
Thought about it.
We've done that before.
I'm not really looking to do much manual activity today.
Okay.
So that
Inspiring.
would take a little bit.
Whoa.
Also, I don't want to think.
So putting ice requires more manual
Dude,
activity
this is
than
before
putting
6 in the morning.
But putting that in the microwave.
I am not interested in stimulating myself before 6.
Yep.
Hmm.
Same, except I'm till like noon.
Boy, I'm just trying to.
But hot coffee right now, because it's nice and cool in the 1620 The Zone studio, feels pretty good.
It's very cool. Yeah, I'm right by the vent.
It's the bare walls. Makes
Feels
it colder.
nice.
All right, so we'll talk more
great.
about the joy and pain of Game 3, CWS winner take all, and Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final. Will we all be Canadians tonight? It's been since '93 that a Canadian team has won
Montreal,
the Stanley Cup.
Patrick Roy at the Old Forum in Montreal.
Yes, Toronto wishes they would have won a Stanley Cup since then. But Edmonton could pull it off tonight. And if they don't, it's just a footnote. It's like, you know what, Florida, thanks for playing along. You made the execs happy. You got us to a Game 7.
Hockey was fun.
I mean, it's just like if the Red Sox would have come back from being down 3-0 and lost Game 7.
Yeah,
it would have just been like,
But you know what was great about that is right away in the first inning.
They didn't.
I mean, right away, they all of a sudden started putting up runs. You're like, whoa, this is going to happen. Before you even had a chance to think that the Yankees were in the game, it was already, 8-9 to nothing?
Very quickly. Derek Lowe is like, you can just go throw wiffle balls.
Yeah, that was
and it's
amazing.
But in the alternate reality, he gives up 8 runs right away, and I see what you mean.
So if McJesus has like 2 goals in the first 10 minutes, or Draisaitl, all of a sudden you're like, hey.
They didn't even need him in Game 6. Nope. That's scary. All right, when we come back, there will be a Tennessee celebration or there will be a Texas A&M celebration. And which one would we enjoy more? And I also found something I really like about Texas A&M that is not cringy.
Oh,
do
tell.
Their band's
do explain
nifty.
later.
I will do that when we come back. It is Mornings with Sharp and Handley. Jimmy's got an update after 7, after a busy weekend of sports, because that's what we love. We love sports. We talk sports with you, and the whole station will talk sports all day long. USC is down at OBV. So good luck to those people that will be there. What will Omaha Baseball Village be like today? There were a lot of people cleaned out yesterday.
Yesterday was our friends at Tucci were already gone by the time Connor and I went on the air yesterday.
It's going to be very barren there.
Yeah. It was already starting to thin out. Even so behind us, kind of in the, I don't even know what that area you'd call it, but there was probably half of the vendors that were there. And so I'm assuming after yesterday, especially having the whole afternoon to do that.
Was FanFest still up?
Yes, it was.
Okay, so good.
Yeah,
because they used to tear that down early, and it was kind of like if you're not coming to like Game 2 or Game 3 of the championship series, some stuff is gone.
Yeah, the Ferris wheel, everything. Reese got to go on that. He was excited.
Nice.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it.
Were you up there during some of the reviews on the first base umpire and see how bad he was yesterday?
No, okay. We weren't up there.
All right.
That was when we were sweating our, off in the left field.
So
bleachers.
6:00 tonight is the first pitch for game number 3 between Tennessee and Texas A&M. The 2 best get us to the final game, which are kind of trending. We've been used to this, and we're trending towards a new SEC team winning a national title coming up later tonight here in Omaha, and we'll have the game right here on 1620 The Zone. We're back with more after this.
Mornings with Sharp and Handley on 1620 The Zone and 1620thezone.com with Gary Sharp and Nick Handley.
Introducing the new Swiffer Power Mop, the all-in-one tool that gives you a mop and bucket clean in half the time. The solution's built right in, so no heavy bucket, and the pad has hundreds of scrubbing strips to get deep into grout. Don't mop harder, mop smarter.
Swiffer Power Mop! Swiffer Power Mop!
Are Nebraska craft beers and ciders important to you? Whether you just love Nebraska brewed beers and ciders or you're a full-fledged craft brewery, there are benefits to membership for anyone with the Nebraska Craft Brewers Guild. Their sole mission is to foster and help grow the Nebraska-centric brewing community. Become a member today at nebraska.beer and help advance the craft beer and cider industry in the state of Nebraska. Find out more about the Nebraska Craft Brewers Guild at nebraska.beer.
They say health is wealth, and I could not agree more. That's why if you or somebody in your life is living with everyday aches and pains, I want to tell you about Relief Factor. And I'm telling you, I can feel the difference. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that helps fight pain naturally. Naturally. Now that's a big deal. Developed by doctors. Relief Factor's unique formula of ingredients all work together to help support your body's response to inflammation. Instead of masking pain for a couple of hours, Relief Factor actually helps reduce or even eliminate your pain for good. Whether it's neck, back, joint, or muscle pain, if you're looking to feel better, live better, give Relief Factor a try. In 3 weeks, you will know if it's working because you'll feel it. For instance, I was sent Relief Factor to try, and I've been taking it every single day. I'll tell you what, I feel the difference every day. Go to relieffactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF. Save on your first order. Don't let pain tell you how to live. Fight back naturally with Relief Factor. These products and statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or condition.
When it comes to concrete repair, Everlevel has some serious game. Coach Greg McDermott here to coach you on why you should choose Everlevel Concrete Repair. They've got the fundamentals to fix your cracked and uneven concrete, and their products will give you the best defense against future damage. It's a fraction of the price compared to replacement, and their solutions come with a long-term transferable warranty. Working with Everlevel is a slam dunk. Call Everlevel Concrete Repair today for your free inspection.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ziprecruiter.com/radio. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ziprecruiter.com/radio. That's ziprecruiter.com/radio. ziprecruiter.com/radio.
News Talk 1290 Coil is your radio home for Omaha Storm Chasers baseball, proud AAA affiliate of the Kansas City Royals. Tune in to hear every pitch, every hit, and every out as the Chasers play at Warner Park and across the International League in 2024. With the voice of the Omaha Storm Chasers, Nick Batters, on News Talk 1290 Coil.
Tune in to 1290 Coil all season long for your Omaha Storm Chasers baseball as they take on the International League. It's Storm Chasers baseball on 1290 Coil.
Hey, everybody, it's Jimmy Allen here.
And John Schreiner.
When the After Hours Lounge opens from 6 to 8 p.m., I drag John into all my conspiracy theories.
And I put up fierce resistance as the voice of reason in the room.
But along the way, we hit all the usual suspects: Huskers, Jays, Bruins.
And nobody goes in-depth on high school sports, bringing you all the best teams from around the Omaha Metro.
So stop by, open up a tab, and join in the crazy.
As the sports schedule allows.
We're brought to you by Bellevue University
on 1620 The Zone.
Are you the decision maker in your company? Consider this. For the first time in decades, there's a better option for a corporate card and spend management platform. Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management system designed to help you spend less money so you can make more. Most corporate credit cards offer points as incentives, But those points amount to less than their worth in real cash value. Ramp's business cards offer you cash back, real money in your pocket. Plus, you control who spends what with each vendor. And Ramp software collects and verifies receipts automatically, which means you'll stop wasteful spending and close your books in hours instead of days. Businesses that use Ramp add up to 5% to their bottom line the first year. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. And now get $250 when you join Ramp for free. Just go to ramp.com/sports. Ramp.com/sports. RAMP.com/sports.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members of FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
And we're back. Mornings with Sharp and Handley. Here's Gary, Nick, and Jimmy on 1620 The Zone.
All right, welcome back in. Mornings with Sharp and Handley and Jimmy on 1620 The Zone, 1620 The Zone TV. Wherever you can get us, you got us on a Monday winner take all here in the fine city of Omaha, Nebraska, where we want you to stay forever and spend a lot of money. Well, we gouge you.
Let's make this here. Let's go back to the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday if necessary.
You know what? We're excited that we're having a winner take all because we live here. Mm-hmm. I got a text from a national media member.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, because I want to go home and see my kids. I've been in Omaha for 2 weeks. And I said, you get to stay another day. You don't have to move your Tuesday flight.
It's amazing.
And it's baseball. And it's fun.
That was your response. What, you don't like baseball?
I said, you make a living doing baseball. Why don't you like baseball? Jordan on the stream says, any concerns about flooding there? It's pretty bad upriver in the Sioux City area. Yes. Like I know the Okoboji area has been pretty rough, but up. Like, have you seen any of the video? I don't know if you guys you've been to Sioux Falls, but I don't know if you've been around.
In South Dakota.
Yeah, so
it's
the
really
falls.
Bad. Yep.
Well, I've never seen it like that. It's one of my favorite places in Sioux Falls.
They're very fallsy.
It's really bad. And so the Missouri River is flooding, not what we had in 2019 around here, but I think there's going to be some flooding in the Blair area. There is supposed to be some minor flooding here in Omaha tomorrow, but again, not like 2019. But I know that they have shut down Interstate 29 in certain parts of South Dakota and maybe around the Sioux City area. So you know, we're looking out for our friends that are up there. But yeah,
I saw that.
It has been bad. It's
that side-to-side picture of the falls of when it's not flooded and how it is right now. And yeah, it's something about when you see those images of these type of events. And yeah, you're right. Like what we experienced in 2019, it was awful. But yeah, I mean, this is something I think everybody's keeping an eye on right now. And I have family that lives in Blair too. And I know my brother, they've been talking about that too. So yeah, hoping, you know, everybody's prepared and given enough notice that they can make the proper accommodations so it's not impacting them.
Sean, who College World Series season ticket holder, who I saw you responded to Bishop. He bailed on the Saturday night game. I don't know why. But
Sean did?
I think he was there yesterday.
Yeah.
In the daylight, where having a dog pile in the daylight to win a national championship seems a little. We'll get to that.
Okay.
He says, this is my dilemma. I like Texas A&M, the team, but don't care as much for their fans. I don't care for Tennessee, the team, but really like their fans. So, as we have gotten to know both fan bases, and kudos to all of them. Hey, because I think Saturday night, it was almost a 50-50 split. Now, the orange stands out. Like in a group. The maroon kind of blends in the maroon and white.
Yep.
But both fan bases showed out. And I didn't think Texas A&M would have as many fans. And you noticed, as you said yesterday, you noticed more Texas A&M traffic.
Yeah, we had a lot more Texas A&M traffic, I thought, than Tennessee traffic, just in our vantage point.
So great for both of those fan bases that have shown up. And it's pretty cool. Somebody's going to win a national title for the first time tonight. And they're going to celebrate. And they probably will not be on the level of Mississippi State, Mississippi LSU in celebrating, because nothing will top LSU celebration last year.
No.
I mean, if you happen to be downtown, you got to celebrate with the players after they went back to the hotel and showered up. And
Mississippi State's was pretty epic too.
The last three celebrations. Now, you could change my mind tonight, but like I said earlier, who is easier to enjoy as a local to enjoy with their fans, the Texas A&M championship or the checkerboard of Tennessee. Like, essentially, if you had to sit down to have a beer, a cold beer today, with one of the respective fan bases and enjoy it, would you be Tennessee or Texas A&M? Again, they're going to celebrate their first natty, so it's going to be kind of cool for their fans. But I don't know that I could. I couldn't handle Texas A&M winning a national title in a sport right now,
and
in a popular spectator sport.
I've had more interactions with Tennessee fans, I feel like. So I feel like I know them better, and they would be great people to have a beer with. But a lot of the Texas A&M people that came by yesterday too were very friendly, very appreciative of what they were experiencing.
What fan base is more likely to end up on Omaha's scanner late tonight, early
Tennessee.
tomorrow morning?
Tennessee, I think. Yeah, I definitely think Tennessee, which is probably another reason I want to hang out with them. Because, if anything worth doing is worth doing right. If you're going to party, you're going to celebrate, do it. Do it up. Do everything you can.
Now, part of the Texas A&M baseball and the atmosphere that is at Bluebell Park, Olson Field, is they do have one of the best chants that cannot be replicated anywhere. Somebody asked me this the other day because they were not familiar with Texas A&M, and I can tell you firsthand after doing games there that when they get to the ball 5 chant and the whole stadium is doing it, it is pretty intimidating. Like if you're a pitcher, you're going to be shaking, especially when it's down there and everybody gets into the ball 5. And there have been a couple of times during the series that they've gotten to that point where they can do ball 5, ball 5, ball 5, ball 5, ball 6, ball 6, ball 7, ball 7. I think personally, it's a great chant that you cannot replicate anywhere else.
Yeah.
Do not do it at Haymarket Park.
No.
Do not do it at Lawrence, Kansas. Do not do it anywhere else. It is specific to Texas A&M. It only works with Texas A&M, and it is one of the rare, college traditions that is not cringy or fake.
Yeah.
Now, there are other traditions at Texas A&M, as we know, with the 12th man and the yell leaders. That is, you have to. I guess you have to be a Texas A&M man or woman to understand it.
To me, it's sort of weird.
Now, kissing the person next to you, your date after a touchdown.
Right.
I think you could have that at any stadium.
You could do that, yeah.
Some places it's probably not promoted, and it's probably frowned upon, and you may end up in the clink by
Especially
halftime.
if you don't know that person.
But there, that's what they do. So they have a lot of traditions. I think, and some traditions are a little cringy. I think the ball 5 is one of the best college traditions, regardless of sport.
Oh.
Because it's unique.
Yeah.
And it only works for one fan base. Again, if you tried to go, they're not going to do that at Lindsey Nelson Stadium.
Yeah.
Because they don't know how to pull it off. Texas A&M people know how to pull it off.
Well, okay, what is the thing that so Tennessee does this? Is it in the first inning where the players are on the side and they
because it's a walk. It's one of the guys' walk-up songs. But that's not really a tradition.
But right, not a tradition, but then the fans get involved in it as well.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. Not necessarily a tradition. As far as college baseball traditions, now I've never had the privilege of watching a game at Alex Box Stadium, but I feel like there's probably something there where they get into. But we can ask Kyle Peterson about this because he's been to all these places too. If you can throw out a college baseball tradition that's unique to that school for a sport that you just don't see a lot of those, and this is where I would probably lean on you a little bit more because you saw a lot of real good Big 12 baseball when Nebraska was in the Big 12, and so between Texas A&M and Texas, I don't know if Oklahoma State or Oklahoma is doing anything like that or Baylor, but I mean, those are all very prideful, not only baseball programs, but pretty good support for those programs too, that I would think that's where you would see traditions that you could draw off of just from the sport of baseball. But you're saying this for all of college sports.
I'm saying it's one of the best traditions in college sports.
That's interesting. I mean, it's cool. I like the fact that it is a college baseball
Okay,
tradition.
look at this from the outside. I'm trying to understand Texas A&M. I've interacted with a lot of Texas A&M people that are part of Texas A&M the past couple of weeks. It's like an honor to be a student at Texas A&M or a graduate. Like it's
Don't wear
like
that Aggie ring.
Yeah, it's like an honor to be a graduate of Texas A&M.
Aggie ring.
So, they have more money than God.
Yeah.
I mean,
They'll tell you.
there is
The oil business has been good.
There is money, and then there is Texas A&M money. Just ask the guy that's now the athletic director
Right.
at Texas A&M.
Right.
Here you go. $80 million for yeah, no problem. Hey, Trev, we got the $80 million for the baseball stadium. We're good.
Saw varsity's horns off.
That it's and they do have a lot of traditions. And I think maybe when you factor in the military part of Texas, what A&M stands for, it's I don't know. There's things that could be cringy about it, but that particular thing I don't think is cringy, and I don't think you can take that anywhere else and use it. Like at Haymarket Park, if all of a sudden they build up the left field and people get into it and they're like ball fight.
Yeah,
they won't do it correctly.
It'd be forced. It would be it wouldn't be authentic. I would throw that comparison to, I think, one of the college traditions that probably doesn't get enough run because it's college basketball, and that's Utah State, the winning team, losing team chant, which I think is one of the coolest things that not everybody knows about. So I would chalk that up to this because there are not a lot of, we here in Omaha, we love the College World Series. There are a lot of us that covered college baseball, so we appreciate that. But as far as your college sports viewing audience, how many of them actually know about that? That's probably what makes those and even the Utah State chant very, very cool because it's specific to them. You could try it at other places, but you're right. It's not going to have the same effect because you're like, oh, where did that come from? Well, I heard it at an A&M game, or I heard that at the Utah State game. We could do this, but think about it's not your own.
Think about college traditions that you couldn't do anywhere else. Like, what if somebody tried to replicate jump around?
Yeah.
Like, what if in Iowa City they replaced the wave with jump around?
Yeah, you'd be laughed at.
And then the wave has become a Iowa tradition. You couldn't do the jump around like in Clemson.
Yeah. You can try. And I'm sure in a lot of those games, you'll hear House of Pain every now and then, and people will try to jump around.
Yeah.
But it's not the same effect. Same thing if someone wants to come out onto the field to enter Sandman. Well, it's only done the right way in Blacksburg.
Yes.
In Lane Stadium. You could try, but you're going to get laughed at because we've already seen it done at the highest level. That's why I don't know if people are aware of the Ball 5 chant with Texas A&M as much as some of we're talking about college football traditions as opposed to college baseball traditions, that they would see that and probably, to your point though, probably see that and be like, oh wait, that's really, really cool because I didn't know about that.
United States Navy man on Twitter tweets at me. He said, let's cut through the BS, screw A&M because of Trev.
No, I said this on Thursday. Does
that become a tradition? I kid.
Watch the 93 Cotton Bowl on YouTube. It's cathartic.
I said the local interest would probably have a slight lean with Tennessee, and whether they want to admit it or not, for people who are like, I don't want to see in Trev's first months as an athletic director get a national championship.
You know what? Trev at Texas A&M or not, I think Tennessee would be popular in this town. He just happens to be the athletic director there. There is an so learning more about Texas A&M over the last couple of weeks, the relationship between A&M and Texas once they're both in the SEC is going to be fascinating. Now, there's a reason why on the Texas A&M uniform it just says Texas and then Aggies, and why they have a block T. But I'm going to give you a scenario that there are some people that cover Texas A&M are wondering.
Yeah, the Big Ten's open for business.
No, not that. there are heavy rumors in the Lone Star State that Texas is going to go a different direction with their baseball coach.
Oh, it appears, yeah.
You know who the athletic director is at Texas?
Chris Del Conte.
Who was at
TCU,
where Jim Schlossnagle used to be,
and now coaches at A&M.
Yeah.
Get him. Oh, I love the pettiness.
How about that crime? How about what would that?
I
do?
miss the pettiness of that rivalry.
What if they were able to pull that off and Jim Schlossnagle would go from TCU to A&M to Texas? Wow.
Baylor and Houston and the other Southwest Conference schools going to be jealous.
Now, would it make it easier for if that was the proposition? Would that make it easier for if they won it tonight? A&M did, and he gave Texas A&M a national championship, their first ever in college baseball. Would make it easier for him to leave and say, "All right,
no, because he's leaving for TU.
You're going to Texas.
Yeah.
You'd be dead to me.
Yeah. He could cure cancer and secede from Oklahoma.
Oh no! I'm not saying A&M. I'm saying would it be an easier decision for Schlossnagle to make that jump,
regardless if he has a championship or not? I think it's an easy decision.
Yeah, well, the money, sure.
Yeah.
How much would you like to make? Well, that's not what I asked.
Yeah,
that would be. So that's what some people that cover the program are wondering about.
Next, they'll come.
Regardless of what happens this weekend.
Oh, that would be a fun series to watch.
And then should hire Mac Brown in some
He's
way.
one of the top coaches in all of college baseball. I mean, what he did at TCU, he's finally broken through at Texas A&M.
Yep.
I mean, they are putting $80 million in. It is Texas A&M baseball. They've got a tradition. They clearly can.
It's their second sport.
Acquire a roster.
I love this. Mac Brown to A&M. Let's see. Chris Beard could go to A&M.
Tim emails me into the Equitable Bank inbox here at 1620thezone.com. He goes, what is up with the standing room only situation?
Yeah, in the outfield.
So what's that deal?
That. I don't know. That was something that I didn't notice. So I watched the game on TV Saturday night. I didn't notice it as much, but yesterday, it was standing room.
No, he's referring to the tickets.
Oh, to sell the tickets.
Yeah.
To sell it. Yeah. I don't know. I think they're just trying to squeeze in as much as they can. We did not have that, but I noticed behind left and right field, it was, and they're selling them. That's definitely for sure. I was wondering that. I'm glad that was brought up because I didn't know they were actually selling them as standing room only, or if you just had that many people that were uncomfortable sitting down because every play, it was packed in the,
so they had
in the bleachers.
26,000 Saturday night, and they had close to 26,000 yesterday.
Yeah.
And what does the ballpark officially hold? 24.8 or something?
Yeah, it's like, I was going to say 24.5.
So I think what he's referring to, I believe, now I don't know this for sure, and I'll try and find out during the break. They either, for the standing room only tickets, they either have a lottery where you don't have to wait in line, or it's first come, first serve where you wait in line. So that makes sense?
Yeah.
So I'm not sure. It's either or. I believe last year they had a lottery for the standing room only tickets, which means you didn't have to, like if the ticket window opens at 9, you don't need to be there at 4 a.m.
Right.
So I'm not sure what they're doing this year. I think that's what he is referring to, is what is up with standing room only. They are selling them, like Nick alluded to, but I'm not sure if, how you get a hold of standing room only. I just know there's not a lot of empty seats.
No,
you cannot buy the SRO ticket and then try and weasel your way into a seat, because there are. I noticed the last 2 games there are very few seats that are open. If there's a single, and it's because somebody got up to go to the concession stand or the bathroom.
Yeah, you don't know if that person's coming back at all. And by the way, those in the outfield, those seats, it's hard to see. It's not the easiest area to. You're standing.
Nick, you just want to be part of the
it's
atmosphere. You come to Omaha, just because you want to be part of it.
But I can't remember when they've done that.
When the corn whispers to you, you're like, I must come.
I can't remember when they've done that, where you've actually had demand for that vantage point and people wanting to kind of border the outfield concourse there and just watch the game that way. That's kind of rare.
If
for these fan bases, good for them, but I think that's something that I wouldn't expect every year at the College World Series.
If your only choice was SRO for tonight and you were not a Texas A&M or Tennessee fan, would you go?
Nope.
Or would you just go to a bar around the ballpark and watch the game in air conditioning?
I'd go to a ball around the ballpark, because it is going to be uncomfortable when you can't move a whole heck of a lot up there and you've got There's
Be a
going
little warm.
to be some wind, but it's going to be more at your back, not in your face. So, yeah, no
I'm
thanks.
used to that heat with no wind, so sign me up. I would go.
I would.
You dropping some Texas on us?
That'd be uncomfortable.
It's a little warm.
All right, Jimmy's got an update coming up in a bit. Kyle Peterson will join us an hour from now. It is the final day of the college baseball season. It is the final day of the NHL. Game 7. Joy or pain? You know what? Today would be perfect. Let's get like 11, 12 innings downtown, and let's get like 2 or 3 overtimes. It would go off as one of the best sports viewing days if we could get extra innings and extra overtime.
Why can't we just get a walk-off to win a national championship in the 9th?
Well, how about we get a walk-off like in the 11th?
But we all want to be able to watch as much hockey too, don't we? Well, not maybe all of us.
Well, you're not going to go to the game, are you?
No.
So you'll be able to watch it at home.
2 screeners, but still.
Oh, I think you'll be able to pull it off.
My tension span.
How's your air in
sometimes
your
not
house?
great.
You got
It's
that
good.
fixed?
Yeah, it's bad.
Okay.
It's back.
So you're fine.
Oh, I'm good.
It might have been cooler to go to the game tonight than just stay at home.
At one point it was. At one point, I'm like, yep, give me that natural air condition.
Jimmy's got an update. Evan Bland will join us as well. Speaking of black jerseys, I got a thought on black jerseys. He'll come up at 8:30. Well, I'm not going to pose that to Evan, but Evan from the World Herald. He'll join us at 8:30. Jacob Bigelow stops by at 9. We stop by with the last game of the College World Series. We'll be at OBV this afternoon. And then 6 o'clock tonight is first pitch. And, of course, you can hear the game right here on 1620 The Zone. Update next.
Mornings with Sharp and Handley on 1620 The Zone and 1620thezone.com. Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone. 1620 The Zone. Traffic.
From the Pyramid Roofing Time-Saving Traffic Center. No noticeable delays from those 2 earlier accidents at 70th and Military eastbound, as well as at 30th Avenue and Woolworth Avenue. No new accidents to report that have come up in the last half hour or so, and traffic looks to be moving pretty steady throughout the metro. But as always, if anything changes, I will get those updates to you. Just stay safe and wear that seatbelt. I'm Peter Krenzer.
This time-saving traffic was brought to you by Fernando's.
Spring, it's the reward for surviving another winter. Fernando's, it's the reward for any day that ends in Y. Great Mexican food, awesome margaritas, and a wonderful family atmosphere. Fernando's, Omaha's favorite Mexican for more than 30 years.
They say health is wealth, and I could not agree more. That's why if you or somebody in your life is living with everyday aches and pains, I want to tell you about Relief Factor. And I'm telling you, I can feel the difference. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that helps fight pain naturally. Naturally. Now that's a big deal. Developed by doctors. Relief Factor's unique formula of ingredients all work together to help support your body's response to inflammation. Instead of masking pain for a couple of hours, Relief Factor actually helps reduce or even eliminate your pain for good. Whether it's neck, back, joint, or muscle pain, if you're looking to feel better, live better, give Relief Factor a try. In 3 weeks, you will know if it's working because you'll feel it. For instance, I was sent Relief Factor to try, and I've been taking it every single day. I'll tell you what, I feel the difference every day. Go to ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF. Save on your first order. Don't let pain tell you how to live. Fight back naturally with Relief Factor. These products and statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or condition.
I'm Ryan Osted. Golf is great because it can be whatever you want it to be. If you want to go out and have a competitive 18 holes, you can make it that. If you want to go out and have a scramble and just have the time of your life, if you want to have a charity golf tournament to raise money for some great cause, you can make it that. It is flexible to be whatever you need it to be at that particular moment in your life. And I've needed golf to be different things at different points in my life. And I'm certainly thankful that I was able to learn the game as a kid and continue to play it now as an adult.
Play better, have fun, and shop Osted's.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
When you're rolling Charmin Ultra Soft on the potty, this is more, so roll it back, everybody. Charmin's irresistibly soft and heavy nice. My grip is always soft. It's our party vibe. She's cushion and clean, so our cheeks feel flat. So every booty wanna touch the sky.
Charmin Ultra Soft is irresistibly soft and more absorbent, so you can use less. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
Some people just know the more you protect, the more you save with Allstate, because they know insurance math. Like if you protect your home and auto, Allstate can save you up to 25%. So it's like losing money if you don't bundle. Save more when you protect more. Bundle home and auto with Allstate today.
Bundled savings vary by state and are not available in every state. Saving up to 25% is the countrywide average of the maximum available savings off the home policy. Allstate Vehicle and Property Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
News Talk 1290 Coil is your radio home for Omaha Storm Chasers baseball, proud AAA affiliate of the Kansas City Royals. Tune in to hear every pitch, every hit, and every out as the Chasers play at Warner Park and across the International League in 2024. With the voice of the Omaha Storm Chasers, Nick Batters, on News Talk 1290 Coil.
Tune in to 1290 Coil all season long for your Omaha Storm Chasers baseball as they take on the International League. It's Storm Chasers baseball on 1290 Coil.
Fellow Nebraskans, we need your help getting signatures to finally legalize medical marijuana. We only have 3 weeks left. Get to our state's best liquor stores, wine, beer, and spirits today and sign. Support us at nmm2024.org to make donations. Let's go.
If there's one thing that you can count on every spring, it's that we're going to have to deal with some hail. J-Tech Construction is the company to call to make it right again. J-Tech Construction specializes in siding, roofing, windows, and gutters, even solar. They're trained for insurance claims assistance, and they can help with your insurance company. Turn to the team the Huskers turn to, J-Tech Construction. Use your favorite search engine to find J-Tech Construction online and schedule a free estimate today.
Email unsportsmanlike conduct on the Equitable Bank Zone inbox with whatever is on your mind, from your hot takes to what you think is one. The Zone inbox is brought to you by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. We want to hear from you on the Equitable Bank Zone inbox.
Host is roasting every morning. Host is roasting every day.
Host Coffee is on a mission to invigorate every workplace with a blend of bold flavors and unforgettable service, creating moments with our coffee, water, and food services that spark joy, productivity, and connection. Call Host Coffee today.
Proudly serving Nebraska since 1972. Host Coffee is always roasting something good for you.
Tickets for less. Best seats, best prices, no service fees. Shop ticketsforless.com. KOZN Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620 The Zone. And we're back. Mornings with Sharp and Handley. Here's Gary, Nick, and Jimmy on 1620 The Zone.
Paying attention this time. Things are looking up on a positive Monday. That's enough of that. 3s and 7s tonight. Nobody knows what will happen tonight. Many little sisters could be happy or sad. Regardless, it'll be the feel-good hit of the summer as A&M and Tennessee play for a national title tonight. Thankfully, the sky won't be falling as it'll be nice and warm. Whoever wins will be happy and likely sick tomorrow morning. If you know, you know. If in South Florida, Game 7 tonight between the entire nation of Canada and the hockey team in South Florida. Canada has not won a Stanley Cup since 1993. Many have forgotten. Many have died since then. Either way, it'll be a party. There'll be a lot of living somewhere. After being held scoreless in the final 8 innings of the game, the Storm Chasers dropped Game 6, not like that, but end the series against the Bats of Louisville, 4-2 yesterday at Warner Park. With the first half concluding, the second half kicks off tomorrow as the Storm Chasers travel to Columbus to face the Clippers for a 6-game series. We'll let you know if Ryan Day goes to one of the games. It's also baseball day in Nebraska. You have Cade Povich of the Orioles against the Guardians later on today. Spencer Schwellenbach of the Braves against the Cardinals, rematch of the 1996 NLCS, which the Cardinals blew a 3-1 lead and then lost 37-0 in Game 7 or something close like that. Matt Waldron of the Padres, remember him from last year, against the Nationals later on. More baseball. Mets closer Edwin Diaz is facing a 10-game suspension after he was ejected from Sunday night's 5-2 win over the Cubs for having an illegal substance on his pitching hand. He didn't deny it. He pretty much accepted it. He was thrown out by crew chief Vic Carpazza before he took the mound in the bottom of the 9th inning. Diaz claimed he only used the lovely combination of rosin, sweat, dirt, Bardol, and Vagisil on his hands. Finally, the Atlanta Braves have a new furry friend in the dugout to coincide with their turnaround. Snit Bear, don't say that too fast because I really thought it was named something else when I first saw it, has become I really wish it was the other one. It'd be like the jerk has become a regular presence on the Braves bench. Hey, we had Leo Mazzoni. They have a stuffed bear since Braves manager Brian Snitker gave it to slugger Marcel Ozuna. No one's did that with a 5-year-old. The cuddly brown stuffed animal has a red bandana around his neck. Okay, we know what gang he represents and wears an oversized blue and white Braves cap. Snitker wasn't sure how the bear first arrived in the clubhouse. He said he initially asked a clubhouse attendant to open the package and then followed a suggestion to place the bear in the dugout as a spectator. I think she asked her assistant to open the package in Yellowstone, and it blew up. Atlanta is 6-1 since the Bears' dugout debut in a 9-2 win over Tampa Bay on June 15th. Actually, that wasn't the last story. I saved the best for last. On the 40th anniversary of his most famous game, the great Ryne Sandberg was immortalized outside Wrigley as the team unveiled a beautiful statue of his likeness in an afternoon ceremony yesterday. Sandberg was loved in front of friends, family, former teammates, while current Cubs looked on from the second level of the stadium concourse. Both his double play partners at shortstop, Larry Bowa and Shawan Dunston, were in attendance and spoke to the crowd, which included legions of Cub and Sandberg fans. Loved watching all the videos from my friends there. Larry Bowa said this guy wanted to win more than anyone I played with. Sandberg, if you forgot, many haven't, we haven't, was a 9-time Gold Glove winner, 7-time Silver Slugger, 10-time All-Star. He hit 282 home runs at a time when second baseman did not possess a lot of power. Sure seemed like he had a lot more, though. Rhino also had that rare combination of power and speed as he stole 344 bases over a 16-year career. He entered the Hall of Fame in 2005, and there was some doubt that remember, we talked about this about a year ago, that he would not even be able to attend his own ceremony. Between the time announced it and honoring him and Sunday's unveiling, he was diagnosed with prostate cancer. But the best news of all this, just last month, he declared he was cancer-free. Made my day. I'm serious. I was wondering last night.
He was, to many, the reason that you wore 23 or became a Cubs fan. That was an incredible Saturday at Wrigley Field when they beat the Cardinals. And I was going through the box score yesterday because that's
the game.
That's on my avatar.
Yeah, 40 years ago.
Is the Ryne Sandberg game. If you go through the box score, you know Sandberg's game.
Yeah.
What about Willie McGee's game?
Yeah, hit for the cycle.
The second one. Then the Sandberg home runs were 9th and 10th.
They were game-tying home runs.
Yeah.
Maybe the stat that stands out the most from that game, because this is 1984, 40 years later, Bruce Sutter, the great closer, pitched to 15 batters during that game. A closer. Sutter went 3 1/3 innings. Gave up the 2 game-tying home runs to Sandberg.
Yeah.
But you had a closer that faced 15 batters.
You say that name, they still cringe in Milwaukee.
It's like what Spencer Schwellenbach did with Nebraska against Arkansas one year.
Yeah. Okay, so on that, as Jimmy mentioned, we get Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final tonight. Is there a good hockey bar in Omaha?
There used to be on 108th and L. It's no longer there.
What was the name of that place?
I'm trying to remember the name of it because they were the only ones they it was a burger place. It was called it was
right there on the corner.
Yeah.
It was across from the hotel.
Yes.
Catty corner from the hotel.
Yes. And they boasted they were the only ones who had the center ice package. Yeah.
Ice House, speaking of 108th, Ice House has Ice House is they seem to have a lot of hockey fans that are in there.
Yeah, they do.
Would Ice House be considered 108th and Maple? Would that be considered a hockey bar?
Maybe. The last time I was there, in fact, it's been a long time. I remember watching the Chicago LA Kings series when LA ended up winning the cup in 2014. Yeah, that would have been in 2014. So yeah, I remember watching a lot of the series at Ice House. Now I frequented the Ice House a lot more back then.
Remember drinking Ice House.
I've also watched a lot of hockey at Cunningham's. So I know that they will at least have the game and the sound on.
Shout out Randall.
I've hung with Randy Stella and Clinton Childs at Ice House.
Nice. Oddly enough, I've seen Randy Stella at Ice House before too.
Randy
was
Stella
a while
got
back.
Randy Stella got shot at Ice House.
Oh, you weren't there, I hope.
No.
Okay. I hope that wasn't one of the times you were there.
I was just going to say, I saw Randy Stella at the Alamo
I'm a
Dome.
huge Randy Stella fan.
Oh,
but
I love
yeah,
Randy Stella.
I think that's his spot.
Okay. Because I know I've seen him there too.
Yeah, I got out in the parking lot, I should add.
Yeah.
But that's a good. They got a lot of hockey stuff up, so that might be a good place to go watch Game 7. Just go and be in the heat and watch Game 3 of the College World Series and look at the ticket prices. By the way, go to my friends at ticketsforless.com. But then you have, is what Jimmy alluded to, you got 3 former Nebraska pitchers that are pitching tonight. You will not be rooting for Cade Povich.
No, I can't.
I'm not sure why you don't like his dad, Tim.
It's just
nice guy,
You know
very
what I-
active on the message boards. Why don't you like Tim Povich?
I would love to
especially
see
tonight.
Did you even watch Maury?
No relation.
No, not at all.
The
Not at all.
Bellevue Poviches are much more, shall I say, settled.
Settled, normal.
Yeah, they're normal.
Normal,
Yeah.
maybe is a better way to put it. Yeah, I'm going to be rooting for good baseball. And then as soon as Cade is out, he can deal. He can give a quality start, and then as long as Cleveland maybe is a late bloomer, maybe like Tennessee was yesterday, then I'm fine with that.
What if he
Cade
has the
gets a
win?
quality
The bullpen
start?
blows it.
If the bullpen,
Everybody wins. He pitched
I'm
great.
fine. And it's kind of interesting too, because I mean the stud right now for Cleveland and Tanner Bibby. I mean he's countering Tanner Bibby tonight too. So it's a big start for Cade.
Before I mention something about Cade, because I cornered somebody in an elevator about him. Michael says, watched a fair amount of hockey games at Geno's, 168th and Maple.
Oh, good to know. Okay.
I
know of Geno's. I've
If
been
we
there
have
a
good
long time
hockey
ago.
bars in this town, let us know and we will pass it
Yes,
along.
yes, absolutely.
To watch Game 7. So it's Povich
with
against
Durango.
Bibby tonight in Camden Yards. So a big game. This is a huge series, 3-game series, Cleveland and Baltimore. I cornered Ben McDonald in the elevator the other day to ask him about Cade.
All right.
Because Big Ben, when he is not doing college
The original
baseball,
Big
is
Ben.
with Kevin Brown over on the Oriole broadcast. And he said he got some work to do. He likes him. He gave a full breakdown. It was a packed elevator, so it was kind of awkward.
Yeah.
But he likes him, just would like to see him do some other things. So he's pitching tonight. Schwellenbach is pitching against the Cardinals. Go Atlanta.
Yeah,
maybe the Braves. The Braves won 2 of 3 against the Yankees this weekend. He doesn't have to pitch against Sonny Gray, who was good yesterday, but he gets Lance Lynn. And then late night, Matt Waldron plays host to the red-hot Washington Nationals. Here's how crappy my baseball season is. First of all, when the Cubs fall behind 1-0, it seems like this team quits, or there's no hope that they're going to come from behind.
Yeah.
The Nationals have a better record than the Cubs right now.
Yeah, they do.
So the Nationals and the Padres play tonight at Petco. Matt Waldron, 5-6, 3.46 ERA. He is opposed by Patrick Corbin, who is 1-7. So that is a very unique. I mean, especially for a program like Nebraska, which doesn't have major league guys all over the place, to have all 3 of your major league pitchers are throwing on the same night.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Where's Will going to be?
Oh, I mean, maybe he's just making it a 3-screen type of night.
Will be at the Ice House watching hockey and his 3 pitchers.
Will's gonna be watching Game 7.
Yeah.
He's all about Game 7.
Or his 2 pitchers plus 1,
Yeah.
an alum. That is really, really cool.
That is cool. Yeah, that is cool. I'm glad you brought up just his numbers too. And we know that all of these guys between Schwelly and Waldron and Cade have had different stints right now as far as how many games that they've pitched. But I mean, you look at all of their ERAs respectable. I mean, Schwelly's a little bit higher, just sub 5, but between Cade and Matt Waldron, I mean, you're looking at guys that are in the 3s right there too. So it's not like, oh yeah, they're just throwing out some bum. I mean, they're holding their own, which is cool. We all were just enamored. I guess it was 2 weeks ago with the Cade versus Spencer Schwellenbach matchup, and they both. It was fun to watch. I mean, they both had their moments where they were able to kind of navigate through their start, and so this is. I mentioned this before. It was cool, and we had predicted. We didn't even know this, but we had predicted that Will Bolt would be at that game out in Baltimore. But I think anything that this time of the year, we talked a lot about these college baseball teams, and they're still in heavy recruiting mode, even though that even the teams that are playing for a national championship. This is something for Nebraska that I really hope they do continue to lean on this, especially as you have players that are now scattered throughout the various summer leagues. You got 2 guys that are in the Cape Cod League as well. And now you've got on a night like this, and then what you had 2 weeks ago where you can really showcase what your pitchers are able to do, and you can tack on an Aaron Bummer on that as well. I really hope and I feel confident that they're leaning into this when this comes to recruiting, especially trying to get some solid arms.
All right. Thanks for that discovery. I did not I was all caught up in hockey and College World Series. Also, I'm caught up in the fact that I think this is going to happen, and let's just make this come to fruition. So another round of recruiting visits in Lincoln, and more recruit pictures, and more black on black. I think that's Nebraska's alternate uniform this year is the all black.
With the video of Vermas and Mooberry and those guys again.
I just think I think there's too many players that are wearing all black.
Yeah.
I know maybe the tendency is they're just the defensive guys, but I have a feeling that before long, for one game, Nebraska is going to wear black on black. Not the black on white that they wore for UCLA, but the all black. I just wouldn't wear it today.
The Indiana game
might be a little bit warm.
They did that as well with the nod to the black shirts. I said, and I stick by this. I think that would be a really cool look because remember, was it a year ago and the red on red was trending with a lot of the recruiting pictures?
Yeah, the offensive guys like red on red.
Yeah.
The defensive guys, of course, like the black on black.
Give me black on black would be a cool alternate uniform.
By the way, the skull and crossbones are making a comeback. You're going to start to see that a lot more in some of the marketing.
It should.
Like they're working to get it on the shelves more.
Okay. About time. I mean, that's the thing. It's there's a tradition that people remember. And now that you feel like you've got that side of the football where people are talking about it and a little bit more of a buzz, every breakdown that you hear about Nebraska here in the offseason, it starts with their defense and the potential at quarterback. But that defense is where a lot of college football pundits are going to put their confidence there. It's probably a smart time to put that out in front of the world. Get the old skull and crossbones, the bones, throw in the bones, make that a big thing. I like it. But I do want to see all black. I want to see all black. And I'm into this now. You floated this out there last week, and I don't know how the traditional Husker fan would respond. But if you're going to do an alternate uniform, that would be the best look. The white on white, no. The red on red, no.
I was going to be scarred by the 86 Nebraska-Oklahoma game in all red.
The red on red, yeah.
But I mean, all black on black. I'm good for that.
With the black helmet and the red end. Talk about intimidation. Then if you could have a columbarium erected by then too. Oh, man.
I'm good.
Did you say Bernard Berrien?
No, columbarium.
Oh. Yeah. Sorry. They're talking about the Bears. I was like, hey, I like Bernard Berrien.
I did like Bernard Berrien. One of the very few wide receivers they had on that 2006 Super Bowl team. He was fast.
They didn't have Willie Galt?
No, Willie Galt, Dennis McKinnon. Those were 85. Come on,
God.
Cap Boso. Come on.
They couldn't have played 21 years in the NFL?
No. Unfortunately, no.
What was Ortego's first name?
Who?
Ortego. Remember him? The little
Ortego.
guy. Flutie loved him.
Oh,
he was Watto before Tom Watto.
Before 87? Ooh, I don't know if I know this one.
We'll get on Football Reference.
Okay. Wow. You just threw a Chicago Bear reference at me that I'm not jiving on right there.
Yes.
I thought I was a fan.
More on a recruiting weekend, and it's not necessarily Nebraska against Nebraska, but it might be our own against our own that might have happened this weekend. We should also mention, Jimmy didn't get to it in his update, the sad news yesterday that Mike Riley's wife, Dee, had passed away at the age of 70. The Rileys had been married for 43 years, and for the brief time that Mike Riley was the head football coach at Nebraska, his wife was very much around. His wife had an allergy that basically her husband lived in a hotel for a long time because they couldn't find the right place, and then they finally did. But if you went to any press conference, win or lose, usually Dee was in the back of the room,
Mm-hmm.
and then when it was over, her and her husband would walk out. She was a very, very kind woman. Very, very polite, got to know a lot of us in the media by first name. And I didn't know if she had been battling some issues, but that news kind of caught everybody off guard yesterday when it was announced by an Oregon State reporter that Dee Riley had passed away at the age of 70.
Yeah. I thought the way that he described that too, of just someone, when you saw them, you knew who she was, she knew who you were. Especially for a lot of the people in Oregon State media that covered not only that team, but the Rileys for so long, that she was extremely welcoming. And just in the short time here in Lincoln, you're absolutely right. I mean, that was a package deal. And there was one of those very endearing moments about Mike Riley, or qualities about Mike Riley, is how much she meant to him. And he talked about Dee all the time, even in just different walks of certain press conferences where he would reference her a lot. And so she was, from all indications from people, especially who covered Mike Riley and the Rileys a lot longer than we had an opportunity to, said she was the consummate, the coach's wife that was as supportive as you could possibly be, but really embraced all of that too. So obviously, and we all like Mike. He was always good to us. So you really feel for them.
She hung out a lot with Buki. Remember when Buki?
Oh, yeah. Buki. Oh, God. Remember that? That was right around this time, too.
Buki and Dee hung out a lot together.
Yeah. Oh, Buki Radley Hiles. What could have been if we had Buki? It was going to happen. That was the Friday Night Lights. I remember that was about 2 weeks ago. It was right around the start of the College World Series when the Buki thing became, hey, Buki, who's this guy? Oh, he's going to be a stud. And he's not coming.
Kyle Peterson will join us coming up at the top of the 8 o'clock hour. As we have reached the final day of the college baseball season, Tennessee or Texas A&M is going home with the first national title, and KP's going on a long vacation after tonight. But he'll stop by first on the show on 1620 The Zone. Now, you can stop by Lindley Clothing. They're located 132nd and West Dodge in the Linden Market, conveniently located. Fantastic staff. They are ready to help you, and they are ready to make your day. Yeah, kind of like Clint Eastwood, because they're having a buy one, get one 50% off sale on suits and sports coats. It's a BOGO 50% off sale. So this is how it works. It's pretty simple. As they are having a big celebration, if you've been to Lindley Clothing, you know they've expanded. They have the addition of well-suited, so they got you taken care of with everything. More sizes, styles, selection. And with that, you need a sport coat. You need a suit. Don't rent, buy. And go to Lindley Clothing, because if you buy one suit or sport coat at regular price, you're going to get a suit or sport coat of equal or lesser value at 50% off. Now, the sale is going on right now, and I mean right now. But it ends on July 3rd, which is next week. So act quickly. And if you haven't been there, check them out, Lindley Clothing, and check out Well Suited. They'll take care of you. You don't want to miss this BOGO sale, 50% off. Suits, sports coats at Lindley Clothing, 132nd and West Dodge in the Linden Market.
More with Gary and Nick after this on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast presented by Funplex Water Park and Rides from the KETV Newswatch 7 Weather Center on 1620 The Zone.
Mostly sunny, hot, humid, and breezy here for your Monday, with a high this afternoon near 101 and a heat advisory in place from 1 p.m. to 8 p.m. with heat indices above 108. Southerly winds today gusting up to 25 miles an hour. A flood warning also goes into effect this afternoon along the Missouri River throughout eastern Nebraska and western Iowa until further notice. Partly cloudy tonight, a slight chance for a stray thundershower, warm with a low of 74. I'm meteorologist Caitlin Harvey with KETV Newswatch 7.
1620 The Zone. Traffic.
From the Pyramid Roofing Time-Saving Traffic Center. No new accidents to report at this time in the Omaha Metro, and the only area being impacted by slow traffic right now is JFK northbound, that usual morning traffic there between L Street and I-80. No other areas experiencing major delays right now, but as things change and pick up later on in the morning here, I will get those updates to you. Stay safe and wear that seatbelt. I'm Peter Krenzer.
This time-saving traffic was brought to you by the Nebraska Lottery.
Until July 30th, enter any non-winning Nebraska Lottery Wheel of Fortune scratch ticket online for a chance to win a trip to L.A., tickets to a taping of Wheel of Fortune, and at least $2,000. Wheel of Fortune top prize odds 1 in 112,000.
Certified Transmission built its reputation on the job done right.
It means hard work, honesty, and integrity.
And together, we ensure our customers leave satisfied and worry-free.
Certified Transmission, the job done right at the right price.
We're excited to announce the grand opening of Saul's Jewelry & Loan's new downtown location. It's a Saul's shopping experience like you've never seen in this beautiful, historic location. And of course, we brought in tons of new inventory, amazing jewelry finds at our famous best in town prices, motorcycles, tools, bikes, guitars. And as always, get a cash on the spot loan from $10,000 to $50,000. Everything you've come to expect from Saul's in our new location. 22nd and Harney, downtown Omaha, Saul's Jewelry & Loan.
It's going to be another sizzling hot summer. Stay cool with 35% off new Champion windows. Don't burn your money on high energy bills. Get new energy efficient windows from Champion. 35% off. Plus, get an extra $100 off every window you replace. The more you buy, the more you save. We help you choose the best design options for your home. We then build your project in our very own factory. Our install team manages your project every step of the way, and it's all backed by our lifetime guarantee. Plus, we're giving away the chance to win a $50,000 home makeover. Enter online today. Turn your house into your dream home with more livable space in a new Champion sunroom, or enhance your curb appeal with new siding. Now 35% off. Don't wait. This sale won't last long. 35% off windows, sunrooms, and siding. Plus, get an extra $100 off every window you replace. Call 877-GO-CHAMPION or visit championsavenow.com to schedule a free in-home estimate today. All discounts apply to our regular prices. Select styles apply. Minimum purchase required. Cannot be combined with other advertised offers. See store or website for details.
Hey, you hear that? That's the sound of loose change in your pocket reminding you to buy a 99-cent medium fountain drink from Casey's. So the next time you hear this, you already know where to go. 99-cent medium fountain drinks. It's not crazy. It's Casey's.
At Cox Mobile, we know you're smart. You brush your teeth in the shower to save time, make coffee ice cubes for your cold brew, and wear goggles to cut onions. You also added Cox Mobile. So smart. Now you're running on the network with unbeatable 5G reliability and saving on your Cox internet. It's ingenious, just like you.
Aw, thanks.
Cox Mobile, the smart way to mobile. Cox postpaid internet required. Cox Mobile runs on the network with unbeatable 5G reliability as measured by Ookla LLC in the U.S. to H 2023. Other restrictions apply. Learn more at cox.com/mobile.
Watching a ball game at Oscar's Pizza and Sports Grill is pretty awesome. Oscar's offers the MLB package, so your team is always on their upgraded audio-video system, and nothing is better than watching the game with a cold frosty one, Oscar's Pizza, or award-winning char-buffed wings. And with daily lunch and dinner specials, it's really a no-brainer. So get ready to watch your favorite team play ball at Oscar's Pizza and Sports Grill, 173rd and West Center Road, and takeout at 162nd and Maple.
Twisted Thunder Fireworks is going to save you big money. You'll find the best variety and the lowest prices in the entire state of Nebraska. Don't believe us? See page after page of products and pricing online at twistedthunder.com, where you can watch everything before you buy and choose local pickup so it's ready to go for you at the tent. Go to twistedthunder.com to check out all of our locations in Nebraska, as well as our location in Council Bluffs. That's twistedthunder.com.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. EquitableOnline.com.
Now back to mornings with Sharp and Handley on 1620 The Zone.
All right, welcome back in on The Zone on a Monday. Kyle Peterson joins us in 28 minutes to be exact. No sooner, no later.
That's good.
The seventh different SEC team will win a national championship in baseball since 2011 tonight downtown. Business good for people downtown. They get one more day to gouge our visitors. So go get them. We don't get many opportunities. We got the NCAA men's basketball tournament this year. We got a Berkey weekend. And we get the College World
That's
Series.
True.
It gives us another game 3.
We got the trifecta this year.
Yeah, so go get them. I am really surprised, and maybe it's, I don't know all the rules, and I like to say that I'm a rule breaker. So in my neighborhood, we have a lot of events. We have a farmer's market, which a lot of Tennessee and Texas A&M fans were in Exarban Village this weekend. Not just staying, but hanging out. So that was kind of cool.
Your neighborhood has a banger of a farmer's market, by the way.
Yeah, it's not bad.
It's a really good one.
Not bad. I noticed that the petition circulators are out in full force. We must be, since we're getting to the end of the month, I got to rack up the signatures. I mean, you could walk through there, and there's probably 6 different petitions you could sign.
Okay, what are some of the petitions? Lay them on me, because every time I'm approached usually in a store parking lot, I always just say, "Oh, I already signed."
Oh, you don't listen to them?
No. I don't. I just
But
go along,
weed,
go along my business.
abortion.
Yeah, the weed thing, I knew that was a big one for a while. Yeah. But what? I'll say weed, abortion. What else? Anything else?
That's most. I mean,
Okay. Most of them.
you haven't listened at all.
No,
When they
I
come up to you and say, "Will you sign?"
No, I just say I've already signed. I know.
He punches him like an airplane.
Just a terrible citizen. But I just said no. I've already signed.
They
I did
they
sign
are-
one.
But how come they're not the College World Series?
I don't know. That's
Are
a
they
good,
not
that's a good
allowed?
point.
Is there a Omaha law?
Are they shoot away? Yeah, that's a good point. You would think that they would be.
Or there are too
present.
many people that would say, "I'm not from
Conservative
here."
states.
Oh, see, there you go. That's now I think you might be onto something. But you would think maybe even in Lot D that they could have some foot traffic out there, especially going by a lot of the folks that are out tailgating. But again, probably to your point, if you're tailgating, are you from a different county? Not even a different state. I mean, most of them would be from different states.
You're going to sweat today. This is one of those days that you're going to be sweating. Then you're going to take a shower and you're going to clean yourself up and you're still going to be sweating. That's what today is. It's going to be a scorcher. So if you are going to the game, please take all precautions because it is the feel like 105 to 110. If you stop by Omaha Baseball Village, are we giving away that Zen water or is that just for us? Because that Zen water and in the aluminum bottle, whoo, hello.
Love it.
That is awesome.
I know we were running pretty low yesterday. I don't know if we're actually just giving it away, but there's a few times that some young people had come by and asked for one, and we gave it to them.
All right, so stop by and say, I'd like a Zen water today, and try it.
I noticed we have a lot more Powerades and Coke products in there that seem to be a lot more of that than the Zen water that we had left as of yesterday when we left.
I'm telling you, I'm going to be looking for that Zen water. Now that they put up the aluminum bottle.
A couple of those, the ice that you like to drink.
I saw
we
that.
We had a couple of them. I drank my first one ever yesterday.
Oh, that's not from somebody that like Josh brought it?
No.
Somebody
Said
that's
it
part
was-
of the thing?
They brought some by. This was the strawberry starburst flavor. It was actually
Okay.
very good. I've never had one of those. It was very good.
I did notice yesterday during the ABC broadcast, somebody must have called KTV to complain.
Oh,
did you what?
No,
Oh,
I was,
you were at the
yeah,
game.
I was there.
So, I noticed from afar on the screen when the game started, because I was trying to read the Texas A&M pitcher's name, and
Bad Maeve.
KTV had the flood warning ribbon up at the top of the screen.
Oh, okay.
It took them about 2 innings to take that down, and then they only showed it during commercial breaks.
Right, because if they're flooded, they probably already know this.
Now, did they have the
Well,
scroll?
I think it was for like today and tomorrow.
If
To
you're
prepare.
south of there, it's coming. It's
Did
how
they have
water
the scroll
works.
going on the bottom though?
I had it at the top.
Oh, at the top. Okay. All right.
It's like when they put one for a heat advisory today. If you go outside, the secret's out. It's warm. It'll be warm in Omaha in June. These things do happen.
Well, I'm glad they're thinking of the viewers, especially when you're getting that rare game that's on ABC right there. You leave nothing to chance here in the local market. But yeah, I saw that a lot. Even I think I saw it as early as Saturday. I think they started letting people know because I think that flood advisory went into effect. I think even going back to Saturday morning or Saturday afternoon. So, well, good for them. I'm glad that they were able to accommodate the viewer. Was it like in the first inning?
Well, the first inning I noticed it because where I was at, there was a screen up.
Yeah.
And then by, I don't know, like the second inning, it was only airing during, they only put up the ribbon during commercial breaks. So somebody must have called and said, yeah, we can't, because of where ESPN had their score bug.
Yeah.
It was blocking that.
Oh,
As much as we loved watching
that's a
sports
problem.
in 1988, we don't need to relive it. We'd like to see the damn score. Thank
Do you think that there will be any moment during tonight's game that Jeff Kent will smile?
I hope not. My spirit animal.
Well, you would hope if he does smile, then that would be because they won a national championship.
You know, they show. So he got his son, who has had a great College World Series, got picked off of first base, and they showed Dad was pointing at his head, like
use your head.
Yeah. But
hell of a player too.
I think Jeff Kent has to always play into his role as one of the most unlikable players that's ever played Major League Baseball. is that he does not smile.
Oh,
Like,
and
they
also
keep
had
showing him on camera. So he's got his grandkids there.
Mhm.
And his son's a really good player, but he doesn't like ever, he like stays in character. I don't know if that's the best way to describe it.
I can
So I'm trying to
relate.
think, like, maybe a national championship, he might crack a smile.
Yeah, I think so.
Did he smile when he won the NL MVP in 2000?
No, he did not.
I don't remember him smiling with the Astros.
I just
He's one
remember
guy who, he had a nice,
one of the great mustaches.
I'm not
too.
judging.
he had
I
a
haven't
great-
smiled in
he had
years.
a nice, he had a really good major league career, but you don't ever hear anybody say anything nice about him.
No, I
Like I
never
said,
have.
teammates don't go, "Oh man, I love playing with him."
No, but
I mean, it's probably why, even though he has credentials to be considered for Cooperstown, he's probably never getting in Cooperstown.
Oh, so now we're getting back to the Hall of Like then too on the personality. Yeah, I would say I've never really heard, but there's probably a lot of baseball players that I've also not heard good or bad about. I always reference his ability to hit the ball and then the mustache. When I think of Jeff Kent, so the stone face, the
of
serious
Robin Yount.
face. That's
You've not had a discussion with Barry Bonds about Jeff Kent?
No, I've never had. I've never talked to Barry Bonds. I'd like to talk to Barry Bonds.
Got some news? No, I don't.
Guess what's coming up tomorrow on
all
the
right.
show?
Well, it's funny you say that, you know.
Mornings with Bonds and Handley.
Yeah, I know we talked about the how cool the Rickwood broadcast was, and was that the first time? Maybe I just haven't seen him publicly speaking, or at least on the formats of any type of studio set. But Barry Bonds just seemed to be really. He seemed very, very lively, very energetic for a while there. It seemed like he was trying to avoid that because of just the association of the records and his career and what, that cloud that's been over it, and trying to get in the Hall of Fame. And I don't know, maybe it was just because of everything that was going on, the celebration of Willie and everything that was going on. He just seemed really lively with it. It was like the first time I've ever seen Barry Bonds in a long time show some personality in that. And I know it rubbed some people the wrong way when he said he would go yard off Satchel Paige, but it was kind of a cool side to see Barry Bonds. I had to think of that when you brought up Barry Bonds and Jeff Kent, but it just made me think of that one thing that I had in my whole thoughts of the broadcast, that, I mean, there's so many great things about that it was cool to see Barry Bonds, Ken Griffey Jr. talking, going back and forth, but him back in his element a little bit, talking a little smack and having a good time with that. I have not honestly seen that out of Barry Bonds, and I don't even know since he was playing. It was a cool look for him to show that personality again. I thought.
Now
I don't think it's
the Jim
gonna.
Leland video talking to him feel good.
Yeah.
Texter Bernie says Jeff Kent didn't even want to stand and clap when his son hit a bomb. His wife basically guilted him into it.
She like holding his arm up and like, get up. Come on. That's your son. Hey, if you have a persona, you lean into it, even when you're in the stands. He knows there's going to be cameras on him too, I'm sure. Maybe he doesn't care. Maybe he does.
I don't know. I think that's who he is.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
You don't find any teammates that say glowing things about him.
Love playing with that guy. Yeah, that's you. Do you think that bothers him?
That's it. I think it's a personality. That's just who he is. But I would hope there might be something that could get him to smile.
You seen the
I think his
Grandpa
son,
Pure Country?
his son's a really good player.
Yeah.
And I've got to talk to him. Really, I mean, very cerebral when it comes to baseball. So you can tell that he's been around his dad. So he told the story. His dad made sure that he brought him to the clubhouse, made sure, might have been 2018, Jimmy, for your Astros. There was one game where Jeff Kent threw out a first pitch and he brought his son. So he wanted him to be around that atmosphere. And like when he would bring him to spring training, he would make sure they took infield and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So his kid's been around, a lot of major leaguers. It just, I don't know. Would that be difficult being Jeff Kent's son? I mean, dad's probably pretty hard on him.
Yeah.
I mean, there's an expectation. I mean, dad was a really good major league player.
I would think that if you grow up, and this is a much smaller scale, but I remember my experience with Connor Gillespie and his dad, who is also, I wouldn't say nobody had good things to say about him, but he was extreme. Mark Gillespie was a Triple Crown winner in AAA baseball, minor league baseball. He was also a very just straightforward guy. Wasn't overly excited, but I don't know if I could say was maybe really hard on him, but I think was always pushing him in that direction of what you needed to do if you wanted to make it at a certain level, because he did. And so I think there's always that feeling of there's going to be enough people that are going to applaud your accomplishments, but I'm still going to be your dad. I'm still going to be there to level you or to humble you. And not obviously knowing Jeff Kent personally, I can see there can be a little bit of that dynamic when you have a son that's got talent, that's got exceptional talent that can be next level talent. And you could at the very least be a standout college baseball player. There's a reason behind that. You're going to let your teammates, you're going to let everybody else around you applaud all of those accomplishments, but I'm still going to make sure you're focusing on making sure that next moment, whether it's next at bat, next pitch, whatever it is you're moving on from it. And that's the one thing that I kind of learned from the Gillespies. And so I do wonder if there's a similar dynamic there where it's just like, okay, cool, you did that, or you didn't, you made a bad base running mistake, move past it, or, you're a little bit disgruntled about it, but you're wanting to keep the kid grounded. I think there's the examples of pushing your son or daughter if you were exceptional at a certain sport. And then I think there's the ones that are, kind of forcing the issue. Mm-hmm. We always talk about those examples, but I think there's the ones that they were always going to be there if you wanted to follow in the footsteps, you wanted to play that sport. They were always going to be there. But once you decide and you committed to it, that they were going to help you out, but they were going to give you the lessons that you're probably not going to get from most parents who didn't play it at a high level. So I think it's a very unique situation that they find themselves in. And what we see on TV, people probably, kind of like what we're talking about, like, man, are you happy? Are you excited that he's at least in this position? And I'm sure they have their moments that they are, but in the game, he's probably kind of in game mode too, of even though his son's playing, he's trying to find that part of being the supportive parent, but he's probably a little bit in game mode and game face too.
When we come back, there's a stereotype that still exists about us that came out again this weekend that I'm surprised we haven't been able to get past.
Besides bad food takes?
Oh, I'm not saying just 1620 the zone. Something else. Kyle Peters is going to join us here in a little bit. It is Game 3, winner take all tonight. College World Series, Texas A&M and Tennessee. Somebody's winning their first national title right here in Omaha, Nebraska on 1620 the zone.
More with Gary and Nick after this on 1620 the zone.
When it comes to protecting your home, Jay Stennett Contracting takes pride in ensuring every detail is handled. Roofing, siding, gutters. When it comes to the exterior of your home, Jay Stennett Contracting has you covered. Water, wind, and hail can wreak havoc on the exterior of your home. If your home is damaged, let Jay Stennett Contracting come out for a no-obligation inspection. If repairs are needed, they will help you through every step of the process. When you need an honest assessment, Jay Stennett Contracting has you covered. JSCRestoration.com.
Host is roasting every morning. Host is roasting every day.
Host Coffee stands as the vibrant heart of every break room, offering the unique fusion of traditional quality and modern flair. We're not just your coffee provider, we're the center of memorable workplace moments. Call Host Coffee today.
Proudly serving Nebraska since 1972. Host Coffee is always roasting something good for you.
Cracklin' Kirk's huge grand opening sale is June 25th through the 27th. Let's check in with Craig from Cracklin' Kirk's to see what's going on.
All right, yeah, we have tons of deals going on for our huge grand opening sale. Rainbow snow cone, $9.99. Huge, beautiful fountain. We have 3-inch, 9-on-a-board racks as low as $79.99. You're not going to find that deal anywhere else. Big win. Our premium 7-inch artillery shell kit, $109.99. How about this deal? 4 assorted 500-gram cakes, $88.88. And we got some beautiful new fountains in this year, just $5.99 each. Check us out for all these great deals.
Now, those are incredible deals. Go check them out. June 25th through July 4th from 10 to 10 in Waterloo at 301 South Front Street, in Springfield at 102 Main Street, and GetKirks.com for all the specials and location info. Cracklin' Kirks, giving you more bang for your buck for more than 30 years. GetKirks.com.
If you need bold banners to boost your business, but you're on a budget, think Staples. Because now at Staples, you can save up to $50 on your print purchase. From posters and flyers to signs and menus, Staples can print anything you need to move your business forward. And with Staples Print Perfect Guarantee, it's done right or it's printed again free. Plus, same-day service is available on hundreds of items if you order by noon. Get it printed right at Staples. And now get up to $50 off your print purchase. And 7/6, visit staples.com/print for details.
Are you the decision maker in your company? Consider this. For the first time in decades, there's a better option for a corporate card and spend management platform. Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management system designed to help you spend less money so you can make more. Most corporate credit cards offer points as incentives, but those points amount to less than their worth in real cash value. Ramp's business cards offer you cash back, real money in your pocket. Plus, you control who spends what with each vendor. And Ramp software collects and verifies receipts automatically, which means you'll stop wasteful spending and close your books in hours instead of days. Businesses that use Ramp add up to 5% to their bottom line the first year. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. And now get $250 when you join Ramp for free. Just go to ramp.com/sports. Ramp.com/sports. RAMP.com/sports.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
News Talk 1290 Coil is your radio home for Omaha Storm Chasers baseball, proud AAA affiliate of the Kansas City Royals. Tune in to hear every pitch, every hit, and every out as the Chasers play at Warner Park and across the International League in 2024. With the voice of the Omaha Storm Chasers, Nick Batters, on News Talk 1290 Coil.
Tune in to 1290 Coil all season long for your Omaha Storm Chasers baseball as they take on the International League. It's Storm Chasers baseball on 1290 Coil.
I want to learn how to cook, but I keep ordering takeout.
I plan to rearrange my closet, but I stopped after picking the clothes up off the floor.
Accomplishing goals is hard, but when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel's award-winning language learning app will help you start speaking another language. Start having conversations in as little as 3 weeks.
Comment tu t'appelles? Comment tu t'appelles? Vous êtes où?
Vous êtes où?
Babbel's bite-sized lessons make it easy to learn words and phrases you'll actually use. So when someone asks,
"How's your French going?"
you can say,
Babbel est amusant et facilite grandement l'apprentissage d'une nouvelle langue. Et cela ne prend que 15 minutes par jour.
When you want to really learn another language, it starts with Babbel. Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
You know that dollar bill you've got stuffed in your wallet, purse, or pocket? Give it a little respect because it could win you millions. Lotto America from the Nebraska Lottery is here, and it only costs $1 to play. It has a $2 million starting jackpot with drawings every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. What's more, you can add the All-Star bonus for an additional $1 to multiply any prize won. So unwrinkle that dollar bill in your glove box and play today. Lotto America top prize odds 1 in 26 million.
Now back to mornings with Sharp and Handley on 1620 The Zone.
All right, so Nebraska football this weekend. Another aggressive, busy recruiting weekend. We'll see what comes out of this weekend in terms of commitments. Mekhi Nelson, we talked about with Schaaf the other day, did commit to Nebraska. He's reclassified for the class of 24. So Nebraska has an addition to their running back room. But they had a Texas cornerback on campus named Bryson Weber. And it sounds like Nebraska's in a good spot with him, along with Jeremiah Jones. But I thought we were over this, or Nebraska has done a lot better job in presenting that the city of Lincoln has grown. Isn't before the 4 join the Big Ten, isn't Lincoln one of the largest cities in the Big Ten?
Yeah, I think so.
So Minneapolis and Columbus.
Yeah.
But Lincoln is right up there. I mean,
Yep.
It's a growing community, nearly 300,000.
Mm-hmm.
So we all know from the outside, even we have friends that'll be like, oh, man, all you guys are a bunch of cornfields. We have fun with it when UConn tries to come here and win a basketball game, and they say there's corn growing outside of the chai. Or they do, HBO does a documentary on Buffett, and they show cornfields.
Yeah.
Like that is 72nd and Dodge.
That's where he made his money.
So this was a quote that got me because I thought I thought the stereotype about what Lincoln was we were doing a better job of getting over it, because I haven't seen the last couple of years, even the television broadcasts, they don't show a cornfield, even though that's our lifeblood here.
Sure.
We're an ag state.
And we're proud of it.
But Lincoln, Nebraska is not, you don't walk outside of Memorial Stadium and you got to walk through the corn to get to your car. But this is what Bryson Weber said. He said, talking to the players this weekend, the first thing I thought about was a small town and fields. It definitely exceeded my expectations coming up here. It's a nice city. The people are great, and it's diverse, which is a key word for Lincoln.
Yep.
The visit exceeded my expectations. But I thought we were over the stereotype of what Lincoln was. There was just chock full of cornfields and nothing to do, and they rolled up the streets at 8 o'clock. I mean, at least we wait until 9.
I think it just depends on where you're coming from and who you have around, whether it's family or coaches that say, oh, you're going there? Well, this is what you should expect. So I don't know if we'll ever be completely over that, where you're going to have recruits that are going to come in and that's going to be the expectation. But I feel like as a state I feel like a lot more teams that have been inundated with Nebraska athletics, and even Creighton athletics realize that it's much more than that. But I think before they know, that's what they assume. They assume that we're going to have the dune buggies. We're going to have the horse and carriage rides, all of that fun stuff. Gravel roads everywhere. Our interstate's gravel. I mean, that's all it is. It's a 4-lane gravel road. We've got chalked lines. That's the best way that we navigate. And then they're like, whoa, civilization, buildings, restaurants.
Like when let's say a recruit flies into Lincoln. If it flies into Omaha, it's a little bit different.
Yeah.
Because you drive them through the city before you get on the freeway and head south or head west, that is. In Lincoln, when you pick up a recruit at the airport, I don't think there's any fields that they'll see driving from the airport to campus.
No. Unless you're flying into some like small airstrip in Valparaiso or Crete.
Small town and fields. I bet that's part of the recruiting is you got to tell, hey, we're Lincoln, Nebraska. We got a vibrant community. It's a government town, but there's 300,000 people that live here. There's a lot to do.
Look, there's our state capital.
I thought we were getting past that, but good on him. I mean, at least you come and experience, and then they go, oh, this is completely different from what I thought. What was this is a while back. God, might be like 6 or 7 years ago. There was a guy that ended up at UCLA that came on a visit. And
is this about the nightlife?
Yes.
Yeah.
And he said, there's no nightlife in Lincoln. And I'm like, dude, you're like 17 years old on a recruiting visit.
The clubs weren't really banging. I got to tell you, I was a little disappointed by that. Well, go to O Street in the summer when the kids aren't around, when the students aren't around. Yeah, it's probably maybe going to be a bit underwhelming, but what do you care?
Don't worry. You just get yourself a fake ID. You'll be able to get in any bar on O Street. That's what happens. All right. But Nebraska may, we'll see what comes out of this week. And we'll see what happens, how June affects Nebraska's recruiting ranking. I know it's June. Nebraska's got 11. Nebraska needs an awe guy. I think here in the next couple of weeks, they need an awe guy because they're going to get some development guys, but they need an awe ready-made guy, I think, because it seems like recruiting is just kind of right now just in a wait-and-see mode.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they're putting the work in, that, and whether you're looking at positions of need, and if there's the Christian Jones news, it's probably not going to happen in the next couple of weeks. If what we heard from his official visit when he was in Nebraska 2 weeks ago, that could carry into the fall, could still see Wisconsin. I mean, obviously that would be a name that I think would really do it if you were able to land that sooner rather than later. But yeah, I mean, it's Yeah, that would be nice. That would be nice because that would validate a lot of what we know these guys are doing on the road right now.
All right, Kyle Peterson, Mr. College World Series. He's going to join us next ahead of Game 3, winner take all, the Vols and the Ags on 1620 The Zone.
Mornings with Sharp and Handley returns in minutes on 1620 The Zone. Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone. 1620 The Zone. Traffic.
From the Pyramid Roofing Time-Saving Traffic Center. No new accidents or heavy traffic that is impacting the flow of things right now in the metro. There is a car receiving a tire change on the I-680 southbound to I-80 westbound junction right now. Just something to be cautious about if you will be approaching that area anytime soon. Beyond that, things are looking good. Traffic will be picking up here in the next hour, and I will get those updates to you. Just stay safe and wear that seatbelt. I'm Peter Krenzer.
This time-saving traffic is brought to you by Lanahaw Nurseries.
Lanahaw Nurseries is celebrating our 50th anniversary. Thank you, Omaha, for letting us be your homegrown headquarters since 1974. Enjoy 50% off potted trees, hanging baskets, vegetables, and more. Shop our anniversary savings today. Lanahaw Nurseries, 192nd and Center.
Fellow Nebraskans, we need your help getting signatures to finally legalize medical marijuana. We only have 3 weeks left. Get to our state's best liquor stores, wine, beer, and spirits today and sign. Support us at nmm2024.org to make donations. Let's go.
If there's one thing that you can count on every spring, it's that we're going to have to deal with some hail. J-Tech Construction is the company to call to make it right again. J-Tech Construction specializes in siding, roofing, windows, and gutters, even solar. They're trained for insurance claims assistance, and they can help with your insurance company. Turn to the team the Huskers turn to, J-Tech Construction. Use your favorite search engine to find J-Tech Construction online and schedule a free estimate today.
Fireworks season is here. This week is a Zone Deal 4th of July Mega Week. Each day will feature deals from businesses sure to make your 4th of July great. Half off. Check out our deals from Twisted Thunder Fireworks, Ted and Wally's Premium Ice Cream, Agave Azteca, Mex Eatly, and Rib Shack. All for half off. Don't miss this 4th of July Zone Mega Week at 1620thezone.com and click deals.
It hit me like a ton of bricks. I'm like, I never smoked a cigarette. How in the hell did I get lung cancer?
I don't smoke. I've never smoked. So I started Googling. One word just kept coming up, like it was in bold and red, and it was radon.
Radon is the number 2 cause of lung cancer.
Well, you don't know if it's in your home. You got to test. You can't see it. You can't taste it. You can't smell it.
What's your level? Radon Defense Midwest can help. Visit radonradio.com for a special offer. That's radonradio.com.
Email any of our shows anytime into the Equitable Bank inbox. At Equitable, we take banking personally. For me, John at 1620thezone.com. The Equitable Bank inbox from 1620 The Zone.
Are Nebraska craft beers and ciders important to you? Whether you just love Nebraska brewed beers and ciders or you're a full-fledged craft brewery, there are benefits to membership for anyone with the Nebraska Craft Brewers Guild. Their sole mission is to foster and help grow the Nebraska-centric brewing community. Become a member today at nebraska.beer and help advance the craft beer and cider industry in the state of Nebraska. Find out more about the Nebraska Craft Brewers Guild at nebraska.beer.
Tickets for less. Best seats, best prices, no service fees. Shop ticketsforless.com. KOZN Bellevue, Omaha. And we're back. Mornings with Sharp and Handley. Here's Gary, Nick, and Jimmy on 1620 The Zone.
All right, 6 o'clock tonight, winner take all. Texas A&M won on Saturday night. Tennessee won yesterday. It is game 3. One team's going to win their first national title. It's going to be a big moment. Dog pile on the field once again in Omaha in another game 3. We welcome in the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. College World Series, Kyle Peterson. He gives us a little bit of his time on the final day of the college baseball season. Good morning, KP.
Good morning, guys. Good morning.
Good. How are you doing? Are you hanging in there?
I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good. The old double day off doesn't hurt.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Kind of nice.
Oh,
Get you right in the middle of it.
Oh, that came along at the right time.
Yeah.
So there is, we've been through this scenario before of team wins game 1, team wins game 2. What does it mean game 3? Do you believe that there is momentum from winning on Sunday to keep your season alive that can benefit you playing game 3, a la Tennessee?
I think the momentum is you're still playing.
Hmm.
But I for me, it kind of ends there. Like, you can get punched in the mouth in the top of the first inning and momentum's gone. And as cliche as it is, I think momentum today is your starting pitcher and what it looks like in the first few innings. You know, I was impressed by Tennessee yesterday because honestly, they don't fall behind very often.
Mm-hmm.
And when they do, sometimes I think there's a little bit of a panic. And yesterday, you hit one of the seats and everything changes, and they play with such an edge. And I think it's easier to play with an edge when you're ahead. People just react a little bit different when you're winning, no matter what you're doing in life. So that was impressive to me yesterday. And for A&M, I don't think they get fazed by a whole lot, honestly. So I'm excited for tonight. I have no idea what we're going to see, but I think it'll be good.
Tony Vitelli says after the game that their approach was a lot more common to what he's seen with Tennessee. And back to your point about what happens late in that game, where you approach the game the right way, it's a lot more true to character for this Tennessee team. And then they see that end result. Kind of goes back to where they approach this game. And I know Gary asked the question, who has more of the pressure on them. But when you look at Tennessee at their best versus Texas A&M at their best, is there much difference? If we're to see that tonight, if we're to see both these teams at their best, the way that they go and approach this game, is it either team, in your opinion, have an edge?
I don't think anybody has a huge edge. I think A&M may have an edge late because Aschenbach has been so good this year, and he should be ready to go. And he should be ready to go for as long as you want him to. And I think that is a huge advantage because he's that one piece. Cortez is that piece too, but you never know if Cortez is going to throw strikes.
Mm-hmm.
And he threw enough strikes yesterday to show you, what a big league closer looks like when it's right. His stuff is that good. For Aschenbach, he's going to throw strikes. And he's had such success that I do think it gives them an advantage late. What Tennessee can do, which is so rare right now, is their bullpen depth with totally different looks is rare to, I think, most of college baseball, to where you can roll, the sidewinder out, and then you roll the lefty out that gets lefties out, and then you roll two guys out that throw 100. And there's so many different looks, and so it's advantageous, but they don't have the one guy now that Combs is down.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't think you can pitch Combs, or if you do, maybe you get you 3 outs. They don't have Aschenbach, and I think Aschenbach is a huge advantage.
So Kirby Cannell actually will be called in from the bullpen tomorrow when the season is over. He pitches a lot, but he's the other left-hander, and he's starting tonight. So with all of that said, and I absolutely agree with you about Texas A&M's back end. So Xander Sechrest for Tennessee has to do what tonight for Tennessee to avoid a situation where they're playing from behind against that back end of the A&M bullpen?
I think he's got to do what he's done all year. He's been really consistent. And he's not going to blow you away stuff-wise, but he can really pitch. And I think that's a testament to Frank Anderson. He forces guys to throw strikes, and if you don't throw strikes, you don't pitch. And that's why they throw as many strikes as essentially anybody in the country. He's a really good example of that. And he doesn't try to pitch outside of his stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think he will in this environment. I think he'll be who he is. He may get hit. But I think he'll throw strikes. And if he does what he's done the whole season, I think he'll give him a real chance.
You said something that I think is interesting. If Texas A&M is able to win this one, you said there's nothing you can really throw at them that's going to take them off. How much of that has to do with what they've experienced here, especially as of late with the injuries, Braden Montgomery, and just a lot of the nicks that they've had to endure here in the postseason, yet they still continue to roll? I mean, actually losing their first game of the NCAA tournament yesterday. How much of that you just can't throw a lot at them has to do with what they've overcome from the injury standpoint?
I think a lot. I think there's a okay, now what mentality.
Right.
Like, okay, that happened. We're still here. And it gets infectious, honestly. And if you're going to do that, it takes one or two that maybe you haven't looked at as being that that catalyst that becomes that catalyst. And Caden Kent has been that.
Yeah.
You know, he came up in a big spot last night. He popped out. Other than that, like every time he's come up in a big spot, he's figured out a way to do something. He also made a really good defensive play last night. He got picked off. Okay. You know, we can have our moments where you get caught up in the environment. And he probably did a little bit. But other than that, man, I mean, there's not one player on that roster that you can look at and say has been more important to what this run has been over the last 2 weeks than a kid that during the course of the season had 14 RBIs.
Yeah.
And if Braden Montgomery doesn't get hurt, is a pinch hitter right now. And most of the teams that make a run to win this thing have that guy, whoever that guy is. And usually coming in, you can't point to a roster and say that's going to be the guy. But if you're going to win the thing, you need one of those. And he's been that guy so far for them.
How does Tennessee, and he's going to be dinged up a little bit. He made a heads-up play yesterday, tagging up from first to second. Maybe not a heads-up play, but he took a chance. How does Tennessee get Christian Moore going at the top of the lineup?
Make sure he doesn't get thrown out. That's the biggest thing. And I don't say it to be facetious. Like, and to me, like, Simo's the guy you want on your team. Everybody should want that guy on your team. But he sometimes, when he's best, honestly, he plays right at the edge. And Tennessee is very fortunate that they had Scott Klein behind home plate last night, because Scott Klein's an SEC umpire and he's seen them before and he knows what he's walking into. And he could have thrown Tony out in the first inning and it would have made sense. The game could have gone a lot different if it's not a guy behind home plate that knows that team really well. And so I think that's the biggest thing, is make sure that you're just playing on the edge and you're not going over the edge. Because the last thing that they need tonight is to go over the edge.
That is a fantastic point of an SEC guy behind the plate that knows Tony and has had interaction with Tony. So he knows that act and how far they both understand how far they can go. And you're right about the Christian Moore after he walked and he was jawing with the pitcher. That's a great point. Because, I mean, early on, the strike zone was an issue and people were chirping on both sides. But I think that's a fantastic point about a guy understands who's playing here and the emotions of the game, because he's seen it before, not in Omaha, but maybe at Lindsey Nelson Stadium or at Olsen Field.
And it's an SEC series. I mean, at the end of the day, like, this happens at Lindsey Nelson. This happens at Bluebell. And honestly, the environment is more hostile, even though there's less people, because they're right on top of you and they're going crazy and everybody's yelling for one team instead of both teams. And I want to stand up for Scott for a minute too. Like, the stuff that Tony was going crazy about in the first inning, those were balls.
Yep.
I know that, like, from the side you can't tell, and your catcher may get caught up in the moment a little bit. I got TrackMan. I'm looking at it. And we try to handle things in a way to where I hate blasting umpires, because as much as fans like to think that they don't care who wins. They want to call as best a game as they possibly can and go have dinner. That's it. There's nothing more to it than that. And, like, by and large, for a really high majority last night, Scott was right. And he was definitely right in the first inning. But above everything, I think the best thing he did was chill things out a little bit, give a warning in the first, like, okay, I heard you. That's it. We're not doing this anymore. And now let's go play. And to your point, like, he's been in that arena before a lot. And he knows how to handle it, I think, as good as anybody.
Real quickly before I let you go here, Kyle, the A&M starting side, you mentioned Aschenbeck, at what point you use him. if you're Jim Schlossnagle tonight and you've got that ideal plan for Justin Lampkin, obviously you want to go as long as possible, but is there a point that it's not nearly enough that you get out of Justin Lampkin where Evan Oschenbeck has to come in and it's almost too early? Is there an ideal situation for Lampkin other than the obvious of being able to get you 5 or 6?
I think you hit the number. I mean, I think it's 5 or 6. I think your ideal is that you use 2 guys.
Yeah.
And there can be other bridges. Like they have other pieces down there that can get 3 outs. I don't think it's realistic against this offense to ask somebody in the bullpen to go get you 6 or 9 tonight and think it's really going to work, or at least keep it a 0. And listen, like Oschenbeck may run into some barrels. Like just because he hasn't all year, he's facing the best offense in the country. So that's what Tennessee does. But if you draw it up for A&M, it's a 2-pitcher game. And I don't think it's all that realistic to think Oschenbeck is going to be Oschenbeck for more than 9 outs. At some point, there gets to be, a diminishing return.
Yeah.
And I think 9 outs is plenty. More than that, you start dancing with fire a little bit.
Yeah. Hey, as always, we appreciate it. That was a fun college baseball game yesterday. Hopefully we get another one tonight.
All right, boys. Appreciate you guys. See you.
It's Kyle Peterson from ESPN. Lampkin and Seacrest, who against Evansville, when he got out of a high leverage situation in the Super, ran into the dugout, stood up in front of his teammates and screamed, "Lemon squeeze." He's quirky, man. Left hand. What is it?
Yeah.
None of us are left. Well, you're left-handed.
I'm a lefty, but I threw a baseball right-handed, and I swing a golf club right-handed.
Let's just get to the bottom of this.
Yeah.
So Seacrest, who is a really good pitcher for Tennessee. I mean, we got two guys going tonight. I mean, Prager was really good left-hander on Saturday night. Why are lefties quirky?
It's because they use the right side of their brain.
Is that true?
That's what's always been said. They always say, though, that's the other, and I've used this too because I'm predominantly a lefty. I said, well, yeah, it's why lefties are smarter because we use the right side of our brain.
But we don't like the rare quarterback that throws left-handed.
Yeah.
The Jim Zorns, the Kenny Stabler.
Scotty Mitchell.
Now, Kenny Stabler was a little bit different. But only in baseball do we go, man,
Scotty Mitchell.
Every left-handed pitcher is like, guy's quirky.
Yeah.
Kirby Cannell comes out of the bullpen and he's rocking a Raleigh Fingers Rod Beck look.
Right.
We go, that guy's quirky. If he threw right-handed, if we threw right-handed, would we say he is quirky, or we would just say he's got a unique look?
Yeah, he's got a very unique look. He's he's confident with his appearance. It's the same thing that you say with lefties in baseball that you also say with goalies. Like, that's a goalie. Goalies are a little different breed. Those lefties with the ball. But okay, so from this standpoint, when you have guys that throw righty, sometimes they just throw righty, but they do everything else left-handed, so they're predominantly left-handed. But you see them up in the left-handed batter's box, you don't say the same thing. You're like, oh man, look, like you could be a left-handed batter, but you throw righty and have like this really awkward stance, and you're not gonna be like, oh man, that's it's just a lefty.
Do you know that I used to write left-handed?
How'd that go? Was this when you were young?
When I was at St. Pius X in second grade, they changed me from writing left-handed to. I've always done athletic stuff right-handed, but I wrote left-handed. Like I would eat food with my left hand, I would write with my left hand.
You have the big old claw over there. Yeah. Desk can hold me.
A nun changed me.
Why'd you change you?
Because that was like a thing. That was a thing back in the day.
Well, she's anti-lefty?
Well, so it wasn't as aggressive, but there was the story that nuns would, if you wrote left-handed, they would take the ruler and slap your hand.
Okay,
because they wanted you to write right-handed.
Yeah, I remember my dad telling me about that.
So my handwriting was not great.
Yeah,
but I was more comfortable writing with my left hand when I was younger, and they changed me during my second grade year. I had to come home. They sent a note home that I gave to my parents that they were going to teach me to write right-handed.
And did they encourage your parents to work with you as well? You can help us with young Gary.
I mean, I think Walt was like, "Oh, that's cool. All right."
Walt should be like, "Hell, my son's a lefty. This is great."
My mom was like, "Well, that's kind of different."
If Walt's a scout, he should have been very pro-lefty.
And you guys have seen my handwriting. I write like I should be a doctor.
Yeah.
The only people that can read my handwriting are myself.
Is you, yeah.
Yeah, no one's ever cheating off me.
I don't know. Is that an equation that he wrote down? What is that?
But all lefties are quirky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's I don't know why that is. There's the part about how they wear their hats.
Yeah.
And
that's true.
a lot of it is, because when you put it on, for some reason, if you're righty and you put it on right-handed, it's kind of more vertically. You put it like this, but as a lefty, you kind of have like a little like that when you put it on. So it looks
that's true.
It looks like you're tilting the brim and you're trying to be that guy. You're really not. That's just kind of how you do
So
it.
people tonight watch Xander Seacrest of Tennessee. He is quirky. So he was coming off the mound the other day because he pitched on Wednesday in that triple-header day. The ESPN guy with the camera on his body that follows.
Yeah.
So he was running at him and then sidestepped him.
Yeah.
He did the Euro on him. That's pretty cool. Do you think, though, that college baseball would benefit more from crossover? Like, I don't know if you've had a chance to watch much of the track and field Olympic trials, but Snoop is there.
Snoop's everywhere, by the way.
I
heard he is, yeah.
Noah Lyles and Sha'Carri Richardson. I will be with you in Paris. I am watching you. They are fantastic.
I'm
to
just
watch
watching
on the
more
track.
Sha'Carri Richardson's her pre-race warm-up and routine. She gets down.
Hey, she's in my top.
pretty
She's
cool.
in my top 3 of must-watch athletes for
Yeah.
the Olympics. Her, slash. I guess I got 4. Simone Biles, U.S. Men's Olympic basketball team, Casey, and then Sha'Carri Richardson.
Nice. I'm glad you got a North Platte's finest.
Richardson is she's a megastar, man. She is hell bent on revenge after what happened the last Olympics. But so Snoop has been at the track and field.
Yeah, I knew he was there, but
so they got a little crossover. So Snoop helps out in hockey.
Okay.
And we go, man, hockey must be cool because Snoop is there.
Yeah.
Well, track and field is cool, period. You don't need Snoop, but
Snoop was
is
in the
there.
Brewers broadcast booth not that long ago.
Yes, he was. Snoop is everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, Snoop has been with Martha.
Yep.
And now he's with our sports. But would college baseball benefit from more crossover?
Like Snoop?
So yesterday we had Eric Church was back. This time he was supporting Tennessee.
Yeah, that was a little interesting, but then you explained to me his wife is
and he's got a little financial interest with the bar in downtown Nashville.
Yeah, obviously with the Nashville connection, I get that. But then Morgan Wallen as well.
Then Morgan Wallen was there yesterday in some old school Tennessee gear. You got to see his security.
Yep.
When your security guards are rather large, I think your status as a celebrity is judged by the size of your bodyguards.
Yep. Agreed.
His bodyguards are enormous. That's a new word I made up.
Enormous is a good way to accentuate that.
But we haven't had like as many celebrity fans here. We had Peyton, we got Big Head, and Mike Elko.
You had the Florida governor.
Ron DeSantis was here.
Was here.
Yes. But do we need more crossover? Do we need like Lane Kiffin leaning into college baseball? Did you see what he did with his former employer? So this is, my God, he is so good at this game.
Is this the USC part?
No, this is
okay.
So Tennessee baseball, prior to Saturday night's game, tweeted out, their regular lineup graphic. So, Lane Kiffin says, all right, I'm gonna quote tweet this. He said, good luck, guys. Get off to a great start, with a baseball emoji and a fire emoji. Well, here's the deal. He quote tweeted it yesterday morning after they had lost.
Oh boy.
As a true troll.
Yeah.
And Tennessee fans went nuts. The rest
Stay out of our business.
The rest of college athletics laughed. But Lane Kiffin brought attention to college baseball.
I don't know if so in the SEC,
I mean, it's a perfect troll.
It is a good troll. That is and Lane's good at that. He really is. This is the time that I don't think, if you're going to rile up a section of football / baseball or just sports fans, you probably don't need the Lane Kiffin tweet necessarily to bring more attention, because I think all the eyes of the SEC football fans as well are dialed into this one, because again, it's an all SEC final. But to make this thing more mainstream, the Morgan Wallen, the Eric Church representation is good. I'm trying to remember when Vanderbilt was here. You've had a couple former Vanderbilt alum. Why am I completely blanking on former Rays pitcher? That was always
David
here.
Price.
Price, thank you. Price was here a lot. We had Will Zalatoris with Wake Forest. But again, I don't know how many casual sports fans know Will Zalatoris yet. But say Texas was here and Scotty Scheffler, shows up. Then all of a sudden.
Or Spieth.
Yeah, or Jordan Spieth. Yeah. So you start to get a lot of those very recognizable athletes. You get that part of it. The celebrities, I think, always helps. Like Snoop would really, that would take it to another level. Jay Cutler and Zach Miller, because he's one of our own, but Jay Cutler and Zach were hanging out when Vanderbilt was here too. So it's
I feel like we haven't had the Baker Mayfields, the Kyler Murrays, the Dak Prescotts. Yeah.
Although we met Dak's fifth grade teacher on Saturday.
Yes, we did.
She was an LSU fan. That was just really strange.
Speaking of the SEC, I want to do a comparison here because I was alerted to something that's going to happen next week in the SEC. When Nebraska went to the Big Ten, I was not living here. Was there a day-long celebration on the first day that Nebraska was a member of the Big Ten Conference? Was the Big Ten Network in Lincoln and they just blew it out all day? They were?
Yeah,
I remember watching it.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. It was pretty much from the time you probably had brunch to the time you went to bed.
All your favorite old games before they got ruined.
But they did like live shows. And Jim Delaney was in Lincoln.
He was in Lincoln as well. Yep. It was a huge day.
Because next week when Texas and Oklahoma enter the SEC, they are having like just mammoth celebrations where Pitbull, because when I think of Texas,
we didn't see Pitbull in Lincoln.
When I think of Texas, I think of a guy from the 305.
Absolutely.
Will be putting on a concert. But Texas is going one day, and then Oklahoma is going to have their day the following day. So the SEC network is going to be live in both places. Feinbaum is going to do his show in both places. Greg Sankey, who is here in Omaha, is going to be in both places. They're not doing it on the same day. They're doing it separate days in Austin and in Norman. And the way they were talking about it the other night, I'm like, wow. I mean, they're like the SEC network is blowing this out.
Yeah.
Like a big
As they always do.
And I didn't know, because I couldn't recall, again, not being here, if the Big Ten Network and the conference went all in on Nebraska's first day.
They didn't have 311.
Because I don't remember like Rutgers and Maryland when they came in.
No.
Like there was a big day.
No Bon Jovi.
No, and I think the Nebraska part of it too, obviously, as you're getting closer to football, and what was supposed to be that huge colossal addition of a football power to the Big Ten membership was going to be huge. So you had a lot of that representation. Now, I don't remember any concerts. Maybe the Kilkins were there. I don't know. But it wasn't anything like that. But that doesn't surprise me. Now I'm curious, though, with that happening, how the Big Ten will treat L.A. How will they treat Eugene?
Because that's next week.
Things? Yeah. I mean, we're in July 1st. I mean, it happens then.
Can we get Pearl Jam in Seattle?
Oh, that would be sweet.
I know.
But see, do people around care enough to even make that worth their while, other than having boots on the ground type coverage for Big Ten Network? I would agree. I don't think they do. Now in the SEC, though, my God,
they'll have loyal Longhorn supporter Pitbull, and then in Oklahoma, I'm sure they'll have about 6 country western acts.
Yep.
Aren't the 4 coming in officially?
Isn't around to do
wait a
that
minute.
too.
Aren't the 4 coming into the Big Ten officially next week?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so I just went to the Big Ten Network July 1 programming.
Do we got lacrosse?
NCIS reruns with former Bruin Mark Harmon?
When's Campus Eats on?
There's actually a lot of spring football wrap-ups. No big event.
Michigan hockey in 60 minutes.
The 89 Cotton Bowl between UCLA and Arkansas.
Yeah, there needs to. I hope that's out. I hope that's not up to date.
They should have Reggie Bush.
That's bad.
Heisman Trophy winner,
Well,
Reggie Bush.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they're
you
doing anything out of the norm to welcome in the 4 schools to the Big Ten next week.
Dave Revson, Jerry DiNardo co-hosting with the Duck.
I mean, you do have. I get the 4 teams and their markets, but I mean, come on, you're talking LA. doing something at least from LA. I know like the
Dodgers.
fans don't care as much, but
I care. I'd watch.
I would
have no
think
life.
if you're the network, you'd say, hey, we are here in a huge LA market talking UCLA and USC. Then we're going to be in Eugene. Now I could see Eugene, Oregon. Well, I guess school's not in session right now.
House.
Yeah. That's just
this is wild. They don't have. So I've gone through all of next week. They don't have anything special programmed on their online schedule.
That's a big
about
miss.
the 4 schools coming into the Big Ten.
I believe it. In LA, they think the B in BTN stands for Bakersfield. Look, what the hell is Bakersfield Public Access? What? Who cares?
You guys realize how wild it's going to be to have 18 teams in this conference?
Yeah.
I'm looking at
all.
I'm looking at all the logos that are currently in a 14-team conference.
Yeah, like,
they're going to run out of room for that
well,
pinwheel.
you know where it'll hit you. You know where it'll hit you is they just showed the Missouri River downtown. Damn. That is not a good spot for everybody that is upstream. I hope today is okay. When you see the standings, and it's not broken up into 9 and 9, it is just 1 through 18.
Looks like the Augusta leaderboard.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, where's Nebraska?
Is this school in there?
Why do I not see Northwestern anywhere? Oh, there they are.
Just slip random schools in there.
Yeah. See if you're really paying attention.
Tonight in the Big 37.
So are they going to do just a big blowout for the 3-day Big Ten Media Day? They're just going to make that first day, they'll just have the newcomers, and then everybody else will divvy up in 2 days because they want to make at least one day about the 4 schools. Because I know that the idea behind doing 3 is you can do 6, 6, and 6. But what if they decide to do? That's kind of a goocher there. Yeah. What if you decide to go with
Notre
just
Dame's
the
out.
4 newcomers for one day, and then you have your originals, not your OGs, but you have the others that go the next 2 days. So you can make one full day of media days about the newcomers. Maybe they'll do that. That's kind of disappointing though, that they're not doing anything.
I would have watched
significant. I think a lot of people, Big Ten fans, would at least pay some attention.
I don't have any interest in the SEC Texas Love Fest. I'm going to go rewatch 66-3 on YouTube.
I did, by the way, on Big
Those
Ten
numbers.
Network.
Oh, you say 66-3. Yeah.
Last week, I think it was last week, just randomly going through Big Ten Network. It was like during the day, and they had Michigan hockey in 60 Minutes on.
I saw that.
I'm like, sweet. This is what I want to watch on a June afternoon.
That's wild that they would not be like live.
I know.
To just bounce around from all 4 schools.
Yeah. While the SEC's taking their victory lap.
Farrell and Snoop on.
But there's going to be a lot of love next weekend or this upcoming weekend for Texas and Oklahoma.
And then
entering
we'll lead
the
into
SEC.
Media Days, and we'll follow a week after that.
Yeah, because the SEC Media Days, well,
they're usually the first.
Hold
out
on,
of the
one
gate.
quick thing here, because they're in Dallas this year.
Mm-hmm. I think they went later last year, later than normal last year. But are
they the 15th?
Yeah, see that? Well, there you go.
Wow, they already have
after everybody's
SEC
adjourned.
inside Oklahoma and Texas spring football.
Yep.
All right. Evan Bland from the World Herald is going to join us next on 1620 The Zone.
Gary Sharp, Nick Handley, and Jimmy Chavez. Mornings with Sharp and Handley. Weekdays 6 to 10 on 1620 The Zone and 1620thezone.com. Your Omaha area forecast presented by Funplex Water Park and Rides from the KETV Newswatch 7 Weather Center on 1620 The Zone.
Mostly sunny, hot, humid, and breezy here for your Monday with a high this afternoon near 101 and a heat advisory in place from 1 p.m. to 8 p.m. with heat indices above 108. Southerly winds today gusting up to 25 miles an hour. A flood warning also goes into effect this afternoon along the Missouri River throughout eastern Nebraska and western Iowa until further notice. Partly cloudy tonight, a slight chance for a stray thunder shower, warm with a low of 74. I'm meteorologist Caitlin Harvey with KETV Newswatch 7.
1620 The Zone. Traffic.
From the Pyramid Roofing Time-Saving Traffic Center. Traffic definitely picking up quite a bit throughout the Metro. Dodge eastbound slowing down right now between 180th and 144th. I-80 eastbound slowing down a bit between I-680 and 84th. And JFK northbound, that usual slow-moving traffic between Q Street and L Street. Remember to stay safe and wear that seatbelt. I'm Peter Krenzer.
This time-saving traffic was brought to you by Fernando's.
Mario Street Tacos or steak and chorizo queso blanco enchiladas can only be found in one place. Fernando's. Great Mexican food, awesome margaritas, and a wonderful family atmosphere. Fernando's, Omaha's favorite Mexican for more than 30 years.
Shop Sid Dillon Chevrolet, Nebraska's #1 volume Chevy dealer group. Visit us in Blair, Crete, Fremont, or Wahoo, or shop at SidDillonChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
You are what drives us, Sid Dillon.
Are Nebraska craft beers and ciders important to you? Whether you just love Nebraska brewed beers and ciders or you're a full-fledged craft brewery, there are benefits to membership for anyone with the Nebraska Craft Brewers Guild. Their sole mission is to foster and help grow the Nebraska-centric brewing community. Become a member today at nebraska.beer and help advance the craft beer and cider industry in the state of Nebraska. Find out more about the Nebraska Craft Brewers Guild at nebraska.beer.
Think about it. How prepared are you for the unexpected? Emergencies strike without warning, and we all know something big will be thrown at us soon. Being prepared makes all the difference. This means having a reliable food supply stored to use during tougher times. That's why at My Patriot Supply, we sell thousands of our 4-week emergency food kits every week. Each kit is packed with delicious, easy-to-prepare meals that provide over 2,000 calories per day. These kits are designed to stand by for up to 25 years, ready to use when you need them most. This week, save $50 on every 4-week emergency food kit you need. Simply go to mypatriotsupply.com and secure one for each family member. That's $50 off every 4-week emergency food kit. Order by 3 p.m. and your kit's shipped that same day. It's better to have emergency food than to need it and not have it. Shop mypatriotsupply.com. mypatriotsupply.com.
It's simple, Nebraska. Do the FAFSA.
No, it's not a new dance trend.
It's the free application for federal student aid.
That's money for college. Thousands of dollars for classes, books, and housing.
Just 10 minutes is all it takes to apply for the financial aid you need.
With fewer questions and faster fill-out time, it's simple to see how much you're qualified for.
Go ahead, Nebraska. Do the FAFSA.
Get started at dothefafsa.org.
Hi, I'm Kamiko, the founder of Miko's Hot Chicken. When we started our family restaurant, we were also raising a family. But let me tell you, it wasn't easy. Our Chase Ink card was there to reward us on all of our business needs. Now we have a thriving location, and we're hungry for more.
With the Chase Ink Business Unlimited card, you can earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase, so your business can go from here to possible. Chase for business. Make more with yours. Real business owners compensated for their participation. Cards issued by JPMorgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC. Subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
At Athletico Physical Therapy, our favorite patients are the impatient ones. The ones who don't want to wait 3 months to see a specialist or wait until that little pain becomes a big one. The ones who know that Athletico's therapists can help them take the recovery into their own hands. Our favorite patients are the ones who just can't and won't wait because they don't have to. So get a little impatient and start with physical therapy at Athletico. With no prescription needed in most states to get started, you'll be right back at it in no time. Schedule your free assessment at athletico.com.
Many people go back to the dealership out of habit or because they think the dealer is the only one who knows how to fix their car. At Omaha Car Care, we offer a better option. We have ASE certified technicians, the technology to service any vehicle, and free loaner cars. The dealer will sell you a package of services. We'll provide the service you want for your car as your trusted partner. I'm Rick Betker, owner of Omaha Car Care, and we'll be along for the ride.
Is your concrete cracked or uneven? Hey everyone, Coach Greg McDermott here to explain why you should choose Everlevel Concrete Repair. Many people think they need to replace broken concrete, but repairing it provides durable protection and comes at a fraction of the cost. Everlevel provides permanent repair solutions to fix your concrete and protect it against future damage, and it all comes with a long-term transferable warranty. They offer free inspections to walk you through the entire process. Call Everlevel Concrete Repair today.
Now back to mornings with Sharp and Handley on 1620 The Zone.
All right. Thank you, Dave Fite. So Oregon, Washington, UCLA, and USC will join August 2nd. So that seems kind of random instead of July 1.
Yeah,
So
it is a Friday.
So all 4 schools will participate in football media days and probably start practice before they are officially in the Big Ten. That's
That
just
is-
the nerd part of me.
But that's odd. I don't. So I remember specifically Nebraska was in July. It was a Friday. So the August 2nd thing I get, okay, that's a Friday as well. But I could have swore all of this happens on July 1st or thereabouts. I guess what would the 5th would be a Friday, but the first Friday in July.
All right, so looking this up, when USC and UCLA came in, when they were in June 30th of 2022, it was effective August 2nd so that they can remain in the Pac-12 conference for the duration of the Pac-12's existing media rights agreements.
Okay.
So August 2nd will be the new media rights
Okay.
agreement.
All right, that makes sense.
So there you go. So I imagine BTN will be on the West Coast. You know what? They will probably do the bus tour.
We'll just start out there. Oh, that's perfect. You kick it off right there.
Yeah.
You're there for the big press conferences and the big the Eugene, Oregon concert that they'll have.
Well, I hope they do it right.
I do too.
I mean,
I do too.
We'll see the excitement level of people out there for joining the Big Ten.
Yeah, after what the SEC's rolling out.
All right. Well, let's take a gauge on the excitement level of Evan Bland, who gets to cover his 32nd straight day of the College World Series. Game 3 tonight. He joins us now. Good morning.
Morning, guys. Yeah, this is the the finale, one way or the other.
Hey, before we talk baseball, I brought up the SEC next week's going to welcome in Oklahoma, Texas, and they're having a big blowout. Now we know that August 2nd is the day that the 4 come in. Do you sense among your colleagues like excitement for 4 new teams in the new Big Ten?
Not right now. I don't. I think in a lot of ways it kind of still feels academic to me. Like, okay, in theory, this thing's about to happen. But I think once the season hits and like you're actually talking about playing these teams and you're learning more about them and in some cases traveling out to see them, like that's to me is kind of when it hits. It reminds me a little bit of when Nebraska joined the Big Ten, and it's like, oh, this is fun. They're playing these new teams, and they're playing Iowa, and there's no history against Iowa, but there's a novelty to it, and then it just kind of took a while for it to feel like it was reality, right? And like technically, it's still not reality for another few weeks or days or whatever it is. But I just think there's been so much change in college athletics in the last few years that like this is just sort of another thing that people are digesting and kind of you're almost doing it like in real time. Whereas like if this were the only change occurring in the climate that we had maybe like 10 years ago, I think there would have been a lot more anticipation. But just with so much change and obviously still more change to come, this just kind of feels to me like it's another step in this tidal wave of transformation that we don't really know where it's all going to end up yet. So I think it will be fun when it gets here, but just because there's been so much going on, I don't know that we've really had a chance to kind of savor and anticipate it the way that we normally would.
Well, so what we just learned is August 2nd because of the media rights deal, the Pac-12 is when they join. So when you are at Big Ten Media Days and you're asking Lincoln Riley a question, are you going to ask him, are you nervous that in these next couple of days something falls through and you are not a member of the Big Ten? Because they won't be members of the Big Ten officially when we're talking about Big Ten Media Days.
That's a great point. I mean, that'll be a weird deal. It's that thing was a long event anyway, across 2 days, and now they're spreading it over 3. And I mean, that's you're drinking through a fire hose at that thing with the players and the coaches and all the availability that they're going to have. It'll be interesting. And then do you keep it in Indianapolis in the long term? Do you move it somewhere else? I mean, I think Indianapolis is about as centrally located as you could ask now with this coast to coast league. But it'll be weird, man. I think there'll probably be some Nebraska parallels. You talk about Lincoln Riley, Nebraska parallels about how they didn't adjust all that well to the Big Ten when they joined more than a decade ago, and you hear some of the comments out of USC's camp this offseason sort of cavalier this idea that they're not going to have to change much. You can bet that'll be a storyline, I think, locally here as people watch and see how they adjust.
Yeah.
What do you think is, and it'll be normal around here until UCLA comes to Lincoln and it's cold outside in November. But up until that point, you're playing everybody that you've seen before. More of a transition from the Pac-12 style to the Big Ten currently, or from the Big 12 style to then the Big Ten when Nebraska joined in 11?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, the style in the Big 12 at that time, I mean, it was so high flying and defense optional, and Nebraska defensively, that was the area where they really needed to make the adjustment into the Big Ten when you're going from defending the Kansases of the world and Oklahomas to sort of that plodding ground and pound 3 yards in a cloud of dust style in the Big Ten. And that took Bo and his defense a few years to adjust to life in the Big Ten. And I think that's kind of the same for USC, but probably not to the same level. It's probably not quite as pronounced, because there were some decent Pac-12 defenses last year, and USC I think had its it was challenged in that way. But man, I mean, USC couldn't stop anybody last year in the Pac-12. What motivation do a lot of these Big Ten teams have to pass at all against USC unless they can show they can stop the run? That's to me is going to be really fascinating, is how much success do they have against these kind of black and blue run style defenses. So I think I would say Nebraska had a bigger adjustment to make. I think they probably underestimated just how big of an adjustment that would be. And it kind of seems like on the outside, maybe that's the case with USC as well. But, Lincoln Riley is a different kind of coach maybe than what Bo Pelini was. And I think there's maybe more historical precedent, more data out there that would allow USC to prepare for this. They have a new defensive coordinator and all the rest. But so I guess I would give the edge to Nebraska, but I do think the Big Ten now is a lot deeper than the Big Ten was when Nebraska joined as well. When you think about some of the bottom feeders in the league when the Huskers joined, I mean, Purdue was a shell of what it is now. Northwestern, Minnesota, I mean, all those teams have made leaps and bounds. And so I think that's maybe one area where you could argue USC is going to have a bigger challenge, is like, where's the week off? You had a few of those in the Pac-12. I don't know that you're going to have many of those in the Big Ten.
Evan, and I know there's going to be plenty of time between now and fall camp and before we get into the season to look at a lot of these teams in the Big Ten and talk about the importance, maybe for different reasons, that 2024 is going to be so big for various schools. But for Nebraska in general, when it does come to not only the importance of getting back to a bowl game in year 2 under Matt Rule, which has been well documented with his previous stops, but also, as I've talked about with other teams like Minnesota's and the Northwesterns and trying to get an idea of where they might eventually find themselves in this new wide open Big Ten, do you apply the same type of intrigue from the outside on Nebraska? If you're, obviously we're talking about Nebraska every day, but a lot of intrigue that we've seen and a lot of optimism about Nebraska football. But how much of that is just to see where they fit into this new wide open divisionless Big Ten model now?
Yeah, it's sort of a two-front conversation with Nebraska, right? Like there's the one that everybody's going through, which is, okay, where do you fit in to this like divisionless league? And like the identity for, say, Wisconsin and Iowa and Minnesota has long been, can you contend? Can you win the West? And then you get that one game shot against the East champ at winning the league. And of course, we know the West never got it done against the East, not once. But that was sort of the idea, was like, if you can finish in the top half on your side, then you got a chance. And you can, we'll see where it goes. And now their conversation changes to like, where do you fit in? Are you going to try to be the 5th best team in the league? Are you is the goal for a team like that to just be in the conversation for a 12-team playoff berth. And like, I think that's why you see schools like Wisconsin be a little bit more aggressive with some of the coaching changes they've made, which to me says what they had going was consistent and it had a high floor, but maybe the ceiling wasn't what it needed to be in this new Big Ten. So I think what you're kind of looking at is like, what's the ceiling for some of these old Big Ten West teams? And so Nebraska has that too, but now you're also adding in the Matt Rule factor and the idea that it's year 2, and you look at his track record at Baylor and Temple, and year 2 was always kind of that breakout year. And I think we get the sense that that's a possibility, maybe a strong possibility at Nebraska this year too. So like it's kind of these two variables that are both playing out, where Nebraska is trying to reestablish an identity, trying to establish itself on the national scene, and the standard by which it used to measure success for the last decade plus has also changed. And so it creates this sort of fresh perspective of like, I mean, yeah, you want to make a bowl game this year, that's going to be a starting point, but like, we're not going to be talking about the West. We're hopefully going to be talking about, being in the top half of the league and potentially having rankings conversations into October, maybe because of how the schedule sets up. So it's just a very fresh, different sort of conversation than what we've had. And I think that's one of the things. Obviously, you combine Dylan Raiola and a veteran defense and all the things that we're familiar with. You put all that together, and it makes for just a really interesting season. And I think it's a reason too why a lot of national folks are looking at Nebraska and saying, yeah, I mean, the Huskers have a lot of ingredients in place to potentially be one of those breakout teams this year.
Evan Bland of the World Herald joining us. Let's wrap the College World Series to Game 3. More faith in Texas A&M's pitching or Tennessee's bats waking up and performing like Tennessee's bats have done prior to the last 2 games?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Tennessee. I think they kind of figured some things out yesterday. I think they settled in a little bit. And like, that was such an interesting game because it did, A&M led for a good portion of that game in what was sort of a bullpen day for them. And you just kind of knew, like, with Tennessee's offense that's hit 180 home runs this year now, like, you just knew at some point they were going to get that quick score. And sure enough, a couple 2-run home runs, and that was the difference. And A&M's bringing back their starter Lampkin on relatively short rest, and to me it feels like this is going to be kind of a 7-5 sort of game. And I just don't know that you can count on holding Tennessee's bats down. I mean, A&M's going to have some of its better relievers back on short rest, and Evan Aschenbach and Josh Stewart and those guys. But man, it kind of feels like Tennessee has sort of underperformed in these finals the last couple games. They've really had virtually no clutch hits with runners in scoring position. It kind of feels like this could be one of those nights where that corrects, maybe in a big way. And they've just been doing it so consistently, so machine-like, so relentlessly this year that to me, I would put a lot of faith in what the Vols can do with their bats. I think A&M, that they have the arms to make this interesting, but they're also injured, a little bit shorthanded. It feels like their guys are a little bit more, kind of taped together at this point just because of wear and tear. So I think that attitude, that Tennessee sort of don't give a bleep attitude, kind of shines forth tonight. And to me, the Vols are the strong favorites in this one.
Let's just hope we don't have an 18-4 game like last year.
I wouldn't rule it out.
Ooh.
I mean, it kind of feels like it could. I mean, it's just a blowout. I think it could happen.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know that Tennessee's really fully arrived yet, and maybe this is the night where you get that sort of correction.
Okay, fair. We will see. As always, appreciate it. Fine work. Everything that you're churning out, and we look forward to you writing another masterpiece after Game 3 tonight.
Hey, thanks, guys. We'll see you.
That's Evan Bland of the World Herald. He did not share the same sentiment about writing a masterpiece.
Yeah, I think he's just like, he's like, all right, I'm good.
So for people that have the digital copy of the Phil Steele Bible, I think you've seen this. He loves himself some Big Ten.
Yeah. And with the addition as well with Oregon, I saw a little bit of that. I haven't gotten into the weeds of this entire thing yet.
But you know, it's
because I got the
playoff field,
copies.
though.
Yes, with Ohio State, Oregon, and Penn State. Was it Penn State?
Oh, we got more than that. Keep going.
And Michigan?
And Michigan.
And Michigan.
And?
Oh, there's a fifth in there?
Mhm.
Oh, see, I didn't know that. Who's got in there as a fifth?
Iowa.
Oh, he's got Iowa. I did not know that about Iowa. Okay.
So, and I think about this, it's the newsstand July 4th. So he likes himself to Nebraska. Nebraska's ranked 33rd in Phil Steele's rankings. So he's got the famous turnovers equal turnaround trend. And Nebraska is the only team on that list from the Big Ten. He's got Nebraska and Indiana as the two most improved teams in college football, but this is his playoff field. Georgia, Ohio State, Utah, Miami buys. 12 is Boise State at 5 Oregon. 11 Iowa at 6 Texas. 10 Michigan at 7 Penn State. 9 Alabama at 8 Notre Dame. And then he's got Ohio State, Oregon as the title game.
Yeah, I missed the Iowa thing. Wow.
He's got Iowa's linebackers because Jay Higgins is one of the top players. He's got Iowa. I think linebackers is the only place where Iowa has the number 1 national ranking.
That's with the offense, though, and the hope that Cade McNamara is something between that and the offensive coordinator, something that gives them an uptick with that offense. It just goes to show you and I think a lot of this also comes on reputation and the defense that Iowa has, because we were getting into this exercise, Josh Peterson and I were during Omaha Baseball Village ones on what would make a good season. And I was one of those teams that I thought in 2024 is going to be really interesting to see where they find themselves in the pecking order of the Big Ten, especially as teams are starting to transition in, where there was probably one more than any on the outside that you felt confident, that we all feel confident, and that's Oregon. But Iowa still lacking that type of offense that could complement a dominant defense and what we always know to be good special teams. Would they be able to get enough of a productive offense? Doesn't have to be necessarily even a great or good offense, but an average offense, the type of heights that they could get to. And it still, for me, is hard to see them being able to, because what would you say? 9 wins would get you in the conversation for sure. If Iowa can get the type of offensive production that would get them to 9 wins and be a part of that group, that, to me, that's interesting as far as what you know of their defense, what you know of their special teams, but that big mystery with their offense.
Phil does a lot of stuff on schedule. So Iowa's schedule, who drops off it and who they put on it, is better. But kind of like the discussion we just had with Evan about the transition to what the Big Ten is. If you don't play defense, you don't play special teams, you don't got a shot in the Big Ten.
Yep.
Half of the top 10 teams in the country in Phil Steele's rankings on special teams are out of this conference. Michigan, USC, Penn State, Iowa. So he's got Iowa as the number 1 linebacker. They have the number 1 linebackers in college football. He's got them 4th with defensive backs. But Penn State, Oregon, Iowa, Ohio State are all in his defensive mix. You don't play defense, you don't play special teams, you got a shot in the Big Ten. There you go. You can chuck the ball around the yard. You can be able to run it in November. If you can't stop it and you can't win field position battles, you're not winning the Big Ten. Because there's too many good defensive coaches in this league, whether it be coordinators or position coaches, but even more so, there's really good special teams coaches in this league that are dedicated special teams coaches, not just, hey, you're the linebacker coach. Can you coordinate special teams?
Right. Yeah, that would be something, though, to take that type of jump. And I've always, and this is an interesting way, because until I'm proven otherwise, I look at like those teams in the Big Ten West, and Iowa being one of them. Wisconsin, I'm extremely curious about too when it comes to where their place is going to be in this Big Ten. I always felt that, and maybe this is an outdated conversation because of things that actually, because I would agree with you as far as that. I think if you play good defense in any conference, you're always going to have a shot. But if you are lacking the offensive firepower where teams are able to adjust to what works in the Big Ten, is even, and that includes, the Oregon that's going to already come in with a very physical team. If you don't have the offense to win you some games in those games that you're going to have to, are those teams that do not have that type of offense, or at least that type of commitment to their offense and the guys in place, are they going to start kind of falling by the wayside? And I think that at one point there was that belief that, let's see how far the defense can get Iowa in a wide open Big Ten where there's going to be teams that can bring a little bit more offense to the table. Maybe there's a conversation, though, to be had of, because I never would have thought this, a divisionless Big Ten could actually help Iowa. Because what's the one thing that they have been able to do? And you look at not having an Oregon or USC on their schedule. They do have, is it Washington? They've got Washington. They've got Ohio State. Not having those teams on your schedule. The one thing about Iowa over the last few years, we talked about, they've established their floor. And so their ceiling, even if you can get to 8, 9, hell, they've been to 10 wins. You put yourself in that ballpark with just a slightly improved offense. 9 wins is getting you in the conversation. So, I want to see how that offense looks this year before I could say, yeah, I think they are a dark horse college football playoff team. But you said it. What they do defensively, you don't need that much offense. You don't need this great offense.
All three levels with Iowa and their special teams are at least in the top 15 in all of Power 4 college football. The schedule's a big deal. I mean, they have a very manageable schedule. They avoid Michigan, Penn State, Oregon, USC. And that's 4 of your top 5 teams that are going to be in the Big Ten. You play Ohio State. Washington's, at least for this year, is not going to be at the same level they were last year.
Right.
So schedules change from year to year. That's why when you are given a schedule that is manageable, you got to take advantage of it.
Yes,
and this is the year for Iowa to take advantage of that schedule.
And to some extent, too, with Nebraska. What are they doing in year 2? What are they going to be doing, especially in the first half of the season? And can that first half, if they have success, if that puts them in? We think this could be crazy, but wouldn't a great scenario be for Nebraska is you go into November and you are not out of that conversation? You are not out of, at least, because if you're in the top 25.
What conversation?
The conversation of the college football playoff. I'm not saying they get there, but if you go into November, essentially, if you are a top 25 team, if you're ranked top 25, wouldn't most teams in the top 25 probably have a legitimate, at least, window or path to play in the college football playoff?
I don't know. I think we're at the point now where if Nebraska's not 7-0, people are like, well, what went wrong?
Yeah.
And the program hasn't won their first game of the season in a while.
I know. Got to get there first. You're right.
Jacob Bigelow coming up in just a little bit on Mornings with Sharp and Handley at 1620 The Zone.
Mornings with Sharp and Handley on 1620 The Zone and 1620thezone.com.
Don't answer that. It's another roof gypsy ringing the doorbell. They are attempting to capitalize on the misfortune that Mother Nature has thrown your way. Make the right call to a trusted company that has faithfully served the Omaha area for over 35 years. The Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard.
For roofing, siding, and gutter repair, make the right call to John Higgins Weather Guard.
John Higgins Weather Guard, the home of the Rooferees. Make the right call.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/radio. Through HIMS, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at HIMS, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/radio and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free, with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio for your free online visit. HIMS.com/RADIO.
There's a new tomorrow on the other side of the horizon. There are promises to honor, work that needs to be done, friendships to enjoy, and people that count on each other. These are the things that tie our communities together. They always have, and they always will. Build your tomorrow with a bank you can rely on. Pinnacle Bank, the way banking should be. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
I'm Ryan Osted. Golf is great because it can be whatever you want it to be. If you want to go out and have a competitive 18 holes, you can make it that. If you want to go out and have a scramble and just have the time of your life, if you want to have a charity golf tournament to raise money for some great cause, you can make it that. It is flexible to be whatever you need it to be at that particular moment in your life. And I've needed golf to be different things at different points in my life. And I'm certainly thankful that I was able to learn the game as a kid and continue to play it now as an adult.
Play better, have fun, and shop Osted's.
Are you the decision maker in your company? Consider this. For the first time in decades, there's a better option for a corporate card and spend management platform. Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management system designed to help you spend less money so you can make more. Most corporate credit cards offer points as incentives, but those points amount to less than their worth in real cash value. Ramp's business cards offer you cash back, real money in your pocket. Plus, you control who spends what with each vendor. And Ramp software collects and verifies receipts automatically, which means you'll stop wasteful spending and close your books in hours instead of days. Businesses that use Ramp add up to 5% to their bottom line the first year. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. And now get $250 when you join Ramp for free. Just go to ramp.com/sports. Ramp.com/sports. RAMP.com/sports.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
Now back to mornings with Sharp and Handley on 1620 The Zone.
All right, 6 o'clock tonight is the final college baseball game of the year. USC will be at Omaha Baseball Village. Stop by, say hello to them, ask for some Zen water, ask them how their swamp ass is doing.
While it lasts, we're down about 2 bottles.
Great to see. Is that what we are?
Unless maybe they're going to replenish it today.
I got some in my fridge.
They're doing the drawing for the Big Max Homa bag today.
But great to see so many of our listeners that stopped by while they were out at the College World Series. Dookie Clinton, Sarah, were there the other night.
Yeah.
TL3, you got to see him for the first time?
I did for the first time
a while back.
Didn't realize it was even him because he said, "Hey, where's the baseball barbecue place?"
Yeah. He sent us a picture this morning. So he was down at the College World Series on Saturday night. And then he went and got a picture with Officer Bossman from the OPD, who is a listener of 1620 The Zone.
He looks like a
boy.
boss,
Hey,
looks like
those
a boss.
Those guys, the Douglas County Sheriffs, the Omaha police officers, they are ready for this series to be over.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, time to. I mean, the overtime is good.
Yeah,
but a lot of those guys are like, yeah, I'm ready. I don't need to be directing traffic.
Well,
anymore.
and I don't know how many people are saying, if they were watching any of the swim trials, are saying, "Oh man, remember that used to be in Omaha." I can guarantee there is a section of people in downtown Omaha, and especially law enforcement, are like, "Yeah, don't miss that. Don't miss that one bit."
All right, Jacob Bigelow is coming up next. He's got a new logo for 1620.
More with Gary and Nick after this on 1620 The Zone. Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone. 1620 The Zone. Traffic.
From the Pyramid Roofing, you're clear of any new accidents as of right now. The only major delay is who are traveling on Western Avenue this morning. It is closed right now between 80th to about 83rd due to a water main break. No other major delays to note. Things moving smoothly and no obstructions elsewhere. Just stay safe and wear that seatbelt. Have a great rest of your Monday. I'm Peter Krenzer.
Time-saving traffic is brought to you by Pyramid Roofing. If you've seen the white trucks with Rufus, the spotted dog, then you know about Pyramid Roofing. Replace your siding, windows, roof, or gutters. Call Pyramid Roofing at 402-502-9300 or visit
PyramidRoof.com. Never settle for less.
Funplex has asked me to give you a first-hand account of the all-new for 2024 Wipeout attraction. Okay, hit it. We're starting up. Spinning a little now. Whoa, a lot.
The centrifugal force is starting to stretch my face.
Holy this thing's fast.
Whoa, it's tilting. We have tilting. Woohoo! This is awesome. You got to try this. Get your tickets now at fun-plex.com.
At the American Lung Association, we're fighting for a day when we can all breathe easier. We're fighting for clear skies over every city and healthy lungs throughout the country. We're fighting to free millions of Americans from the addictive grip of tobacco and the devastating effects of lung disease. The American Lung Association isn't just fighting for air, we're fighting for all the things that make it worth breathing, and we can use your help. See what you can do at fightingforair.org.
I want to learn how to cook, but I keep ordering takeout.
I plan to rearrange my closet, but I stopped after picking the clothes up off the floor.
Accomplishing goals is hard, but when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel's award-winning language learning app will help you start speaking another language. Start having conversations in as little as 3 weeks.
Comment tu t'appelles? Comment tu t'appelles? Vous êtes où?
Vous êtes où?
Babbel's bite-sized lessons make it easy to learn words and phrases you'll actually use. So when someone asks,
"How's your French going?"
you can say,
Babbel est amusant et facilite grandement l'apprentissage d'une nouvelle langue. Et cela ne prend que 15 minutes par jour.
when you want to really learn another language, it starts with Babbel. Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at babbel.com. Just go to babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's babbel.com. BABBEL.com.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
When you're rolling Charmin Ultra Soft on the party, this is more, so roll it back, everybody. Charmin's irresistibly soft and heavy nice. My grip is always soft. It's our party vibe. It's cushion and things so our cheeks feel flat. So every booty wanna touch the sky.
Charmin Ultra Soft is irresistibly soft and more absorbent, so you can use less. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
Tickets for less. Best seats, best prices, no service fees. Shop ticketsforless.com. KOZN Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620 The Zone. Now back to mornings with Sharp and Handley on 1620 The Zone.
All right. Our next guest is a graphic artist and is part-time. Jacob Bigelow joins us now. Nice logo. Can you explain to our listening audience what your logo is for Omaha Baseball Village this afternoon?
For this afternoon's broadcast of 1620 The Swamp Ass. It'll be a little toasty down there. I don't know if Jack's going to be wearing his dry fit cargos or not this afternoon to try to beat the heat, but they'll T's and P's to those guys. Hopefully they got plenty of the Zen water down there.
Can you get away with doing a remote shirtless? I don't know if you can get away with the body, but would it be frowned upon if a radio remote, the hosts were shirtless?
You have body paint on?
I would guess it'd probably be frowned upon. I don't know how that would look on the 360 cam you guys have for that setup down there. I don't know if people need to see all the different angles, but I think that'd probably be frowned upon in the general rule of thumb.
See, we got this. Charles says 1620 the Swamp Ass presented by Zen Water.
Yeah, they just dump water on yourself the whole time. The most awkward part would be the 3 to 4 minute commercial breaks. It's kind of fun when you're engaging with everyone and you're talking on the air, but then when you have to sit there during a commercial break with just no shirt on at all, that's probably where it gets a little awkward. So yeah, I would I would think that to be a little bit frowned upon. But hey, when it comes to beating the Heat, aren't we, for the most part, we're pretty successful. I mean, we've taken that W many, many times, so we'll be all right tonight. Jacob, how have you enjoyed your College World Series so far?
Been good. I was able to get down to a couple games. It's always, as a kid who grew up here, I call myself a kid. I'm getting old, but as I grew up here and have a birthday that falls around the College World Series every year. So it's always had a special place in my heart. But I've been lucky enough to get down to a couple games, and the games I was at were fairly enjoyable for the most part. But I think the first weekend was such a rush with all the walk-offs and everything. It's kind of been you can't expect that for the entire tournament, but it's kind of gone down in terms of excitement since. But I think with the two best teams in the field, in my opinion, being in the final, it's only right that we get a game 3 tonight.
Are you yay or nay on a potential decider being game 2 played in the daylight? Like we have now become accustomed to the Sunday 1 or 2 o'clock first pitch.
I'm out on it. I think it's a weird visual. I keep on thinking back to the year that Coastal won it on a Monday afternoon.
That was a Thursday.
The rain delay. I forget what day it was.
A Thursday.
It was a Thursday. Yeah, I forget. But it was. All I remember is it was in the middle of the day, and it was a really, really weird visual. I am corny as all hell, so I'm all about the visuals and the how it looks. And I think the Omaha dog pile at night. I think there's just something about it. So yeah, I'd say I'm out on the potential decider being a day game.
Who would be a better Final Four coach in the sport of college basketball, Jim Schlossnagle or Tony Vitello?
Oh, Tony V, for sure.
Yeah. He's got a little Hurley in him, doesn't he?
A little, it's called passion.
Yeah,
passion.
Yeah.
He's got plenty of energy. That's for sure. I mean, I think the perfect comparison of the two was when they got to do their awkward photo op on media day, and Schloss is in full uniform, at the podium, and Tony's just wearing his travel suit, wearing his travel tracksuit and a hat. I think that's the perfect, pretty good visual comparison of the two.
Let's talk because this week also is the NBA draft, and there's going to be people coming out of the woodwork to say that they have watched Alex Sarr play, or Zachariah, or however you pronounce the Frenchman, that they've watched them play. You have not, okay, unless this is your world. So those are two guys that could go first. Possibly Donovan Clingan could go first for Atlanta. But let's talk about the rest of the draft, because there is a lack of top 5 and top 10 talent in this draft. This is no Wemby draft. But could it actually benefit a guy like Baylor Shireman, because the back end of the first round has some nice depth to it?
No, I definitely agree. I think it could definitely benefit Baylor. He's also done exceptionally well in the pre-draft process, whether it be at the combine or feedback from team workouts or interviews. Everything appears to be really positive for Baylor. I'm yet to find a player comp listed for him that isn't Joe Ingles. That's kind of a mission I'm on, is to see if there's anyone comparing him to somebody that isn't Joe Ingles. But I think we hear I feel like every year people try to say it's not a deep draft. People try to say, oh, it's a bad draft down. It's just not very top heavy. There isn't like you said, there isn't a Wemby, there isn't a standout, for sure, surefire, top pick, or top 10 really probably isn't that deep. But once you get outside of 5 to 10, I think there's a chance for guys that could have pretty long careers, and that includes Baylor.
What kind of NBA career do you think Zach Edey's going to have?
I still don't quite know yet. I have mixed thoughts on how it could go for him. I haven't. If I'm being quite honest, I haven't put too much thought into the draft and the NBA. I'm really looking forward to Olympic basketball right now. I think Canada's going to have themselves a pretty interesting team, and that Edey is on the preliminary roster. But I'm yet to decide how I think his pro career will go. I think there's a role for him somewhere. There's a fit somewhere. It'll just depend on what team is the team to take a chance and put in the card with his name on it.
That would be the Los Angeles Lakers at 17. That's my prediction on where Zach Edey will go.
All right.
Yeah, I wouldn't feel great about that if that was where he wound up, given the current state of that franchise. But that's an interesting prediction nonetheless.
See, I've already looked. So I haven't put a ceiling on where Shireman can go, but the floor is I don't think he gets past Boston at 30. Now he won't be available there, but if he's available, Boston would take him at 30. But I see him going like 22, 23, 24. The Knicks have a couple of picks in that range, but I think Shireman is Shireman's gonna end up on a good team, like a team that is not like in rebuild mode. So if he's 22 to 26, where I think he'll be drafted, that'd be a hell of a moment for him.
Oh, definitely. And I know, I was told last offseason that the Celtics were one of the front offices that were pretty interested in him last year before he put all the emphasis in changing his body. And, we saw the impact that had on his game this past year at Creighton. So I think that it'll be quite the moment for Baylor, regardless. I agree with you. I think he's going to be a first-round draft pick, and it's not too shabby for a kid from Aurora, Nebraska, who people were probably more enthralled with his passing stats as a quarterback senior year at Aurora than thinking about what he could do, on the basketball court. So, testament to him and the work that he's put in throughout his college career.
Are you tracking Connor Sejan with the Armenian team right now and their event against France? And do you start dialing into things that he's pulling off right now that we could see in a Husker uniform here very shortly?
I cannot say that I was tracking any of the Armenian national team games this weekend. I will, hand up, fully admit I was not,
Jacob,
in the film room to track that. I did see some of the K-State highlights from their tune-up games, but I was not very dialed in on any of that this weekend. But it's good to see Sejan shoot. He shot it decently well. I think he finished like 23 points on 15 shots in their second game. I didn't see the stats from the first one, but that's encouraging. I mean, I don't know. I don't think the Irish national basketball team is really throwing out.
Hold on here. Kelly Tripucka, Orlando Woolridge.
I don't think they're really sending out any junkyard dogs. They may play as slow as some Big Ten teams, but I don't think the Irish national team is really a juggernaut. So. Not gonna take too much from those matchups, but I will say, it's encouraging to see some shots falling for Connor Sejan.
Hold on here, you are disparaging Digger Phelps, Austin Carr, Adrian Dantley, John Paxson, LaFonso Ellis. Why are you so out on the Irish basketball national team? David Rivers. What about Bill Laimbeer? Jacob, Bill Lambert's an old man. He shows up at your house, you're done.
Yeah, that could be said for plenty of people. But I gotta, that's my bad for assuming. I guess my bad for assuming. That's quite the list of dignitaries that you listed there. So my apologies to all the Irish national basketball team fans out there in the listening audience.
I mean, it's the other Irish team, but yeah.
I mean, Tim Kempton. You remember him, probably more notably with his time with the Charlotte Hornets than at Notre Dame.
You're listing Notre Dame guys. Yep, I did not. Yep, whoops. Brain.
You're like, John Paxson played for the Irish national team?
Dual citizenship.
That was the one that got me. I'm like, John Paxson played for. I'm like thinking to myself, I'm like the Irish national team really developed just atrocious front office pieces. But I mean, didn't know that they had that going on, but that's Monday brain. I'll admit, Monday brain.
All right, so let's play a little pick or choose here, because tonight could be major pain in South Florida with Edmonton coming back down 3-0 to win the Stanley Cup. They would win it in Sunrise, which would be just an extra dagger. So there'll be joy or pain, and it could be Edmonton coming back from down 3-0. The most impressive, well, let's put it this way. The biggest collapse in sports, would that be up there? Would the Yankees blowing a 3-0 lead be up there? Or my personal favorite in this discussion, the Atlanta Falcons blowing a 28-3 lead in the Super Bowl. Which is a bigger collapse of those three?
I think 28-3 still takes the cake for me, just because of the stage and the way that game looked, and then it just completely flipping. I think that's still it for me. I was watching that game in my freshman dorm at Abel Hall, but I think that's still, when I think of the biggest meltdowns, collapses, I think that's still at the top of the list.
You didn't want to throw in Wisconsin being up by 17 against Nebraska at Pinnacle Bank Arena and then losing that game, if we're going to tie it all local into the basketball beat. Where would you put that one, Jacob?
I don't.
It's not one of the bigger ones? Okay.
No, I wouldn't say that, but I mean, Wisconsin blew double-digit leads at PBA in back-to-back years. So,
That's true.
I mean, that's pretty indicative of where that program is.
I mean, who are the students going to boo this year when Wisconsin collapses?
I don't know. I mean, I think the prime candidate to be crowd favorite is Musselman when he makes his trip with USC. I think he'll be prime candidate to be the crowd favorite. But they're not going to have anybody to boo and nobody to there won't be any tweets fired off. But we're a long way from that. That's for sure. So
all right, would you like some more Notre Dame basketball trivia? Let me just give you some names.
Yeah.
I mean, Pat Connaughton, he's still in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Troy Murphy.
That just sounds like an Irishman too.
Yeah, it's even better if you play at Notre Dame and you are Irish.
Yep. I believe there's a special scholarship for you.
Something like that. Yeah. Notre Dame basketball.
Hey.
Yeah.
I mean, Mike Bray or Digger Phelps?
I lean Mike Bray.
Okay.
I think I lean everything I've heard about Mike Bray is pretty good. Good dude to hang out with, good hang. And then I've also, I've heard, I like the direction that the program's going with Shrewsbury. It's been a rough, it hasn't been, it's just year one this past year, but I really like him and what he's about. And I think he, who knows what to say about the ACC going forward, but I think they have a good coach.
Did you ever bring up Luke Herringody?
No, I haven't gotten him yet.
Yeah, Luke
He's
Herringody.
not even in the top 10.
There you go.
All right. Well, that'd be good. We'll have a further Notre Dame discussion when they're playing basketball in the Big Ten.
Yeah, I'm all for it. I can. Yeah, I will definitely be more well versed in Notre Dame basketball names when they join the league. So I'll be more prepared.
All right. Have a good weekend. We'll talk to you next week.
Yep, sounds good. Have a good week.
That is Jacob Bigelow. Can we just point out, it might be painful for Falcon fans out there, that you were up 28-3 in the Super Bowl and lost 34-28. That's the biggest collapse in sports to me.
I disagree. I still think Yankees up 3-0 with that team. I mean, that's the Atlanta Falcons. That one is pretty significant. Don't get me wrong, but still think championship pedigree of the Patriots versus a team that had not been in that stage. Easy to maybe overthink it a little bit more than the team that's been there. I don't know. But the whole idea that team that the Yankees had, and you have the biggest weapon out of the bullpen, not once, not twice, not three times, but four times that they have to beat you. Now, obviously never got to Mo in Game 7, but I still, to this day, think that is the biggest collapse. If there was a Yankees team that was not as talented as they were, and they flukishly got out to a 3-0 lead, I'd say, okay, maybe it's not as big as what meets the eye, but that was a damn good Yankees team too. Not that the Red Sox team was any bunch of slouches either, but I still cannot, for the life of me, just believe that happened the way that it did. And especially the way, remember how they won Game 3, just beat the crap out of the Red Sox too. I mean, it was, and then the way that series ends where the Red Sox just bludgeoned them early, to me is still the biggest collapse.
Jimmy, biggest collapse in sports.
I'm going to go with the Super Bowl because Kyle Shanahan did it not once, not twice, but not 3 times, not running the damn ball. And all you have to do is get a first down to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
He needs to wear that like a giant scarlet A. Only we'll say it's an F for football, of course.
That was a tough one. That was just a tough pill to swallow too, because unless you were a Patriots
Swallowing,
fan,
more like choking.
I believe America's team that night was the Atlanta Falcons.
All right,
I was in my Chris Miller jersey that night as red.
Chris Miller jersey,
Yeah.
number 12.
Yeah, the red, the true
You
great
couldn't find
Falcons
a
jersey.
You couldn't find a Steve Bartkowski.
I wanted to, but yeah.
You couldn't
What
find
about a Jamal Anderson?
What about a David Archer?
David Archer, former San Antonio Texans great, former Sacramento Gold Miners great, and one of 37 quarterbacks who filled in for injured Randall Cunningham in 1991 with the Eagles.
That was when Sacramento was in the CFL. Well, there were 2 United States teams were playing in the Canadian Football
Yes.
League back then.
And then in 95, you had the Texans, the Birmingham Barracudas, the Memphis, I don't know what the hell they were called, and then the
Aren't they
Baltimore
always-
Stallions.
Aren't they always the showboats?
Oh, they're the Showboats, yes.
Yeah.
Because that's how they were going to propose an expansion team of the NFL. They said, we'll call it the Showboats and play at the Liberty Bowl. They're like, nice. No.
Wow.
Hey, if you've been to the Liberty Bowl, you know.
You don't want to play original USFL team nicknames?
Yeah.
The Michigan Panthers, the Generals of New Jersey,
the Gunslingers with quarterback Rick Uheisel,
Tampa Bay Bandits.
What was New Orleans?
They were the I can see the helmet because Marcus.
Because that's Marcus Dupree. Yeah.
Uh,
Gosh, was it not the Stallions?
Well, they were
Sound?
they're the Boston Breakers.
Yeah. Howard Schnellenberger, then he tore down his sandcastles, and then they didn't have a team in Miami.
The LA Express.
With Steve Young.
Houston Gamblers.
All right,
Jim Kelly.
Look at Mr. USFL.
Yeah.
Hello.
I'm surprised that I remember this. No, I'm not.
They were the Breakers, New Orleans Breakers.
Okay.
Oh.
Then they moved to Boston.
Yes.
That's where they became
Oh,
the
okay.
Boston Breakers because they had the funky helmets with Marcus Dupree as their running back. All right, 30 past the hour, 30 more minutes to go on a Monday before we turn over to the crossover, which I thought they were going to be down at Omaha Baseball Village. They elected to be smart today, and they're inside.
Yeah, some people want to avoid the heat.
Yep.
I understand.
I think that's a wise move.
It is a wise move.
Yeah. I mean, well, why put yourself in the heat when you don't have to?
Connor was worried that there was going to be a narrative that he was soft for doing this. And I look at it as just being smart, not an opportunist.
I just see it as he doesn't want to be in the heat. More power to him. We don't have pickle juice.
Well, Baseball Village ain't going to be open at that point. There's not going to be a lot of traffic going around. You're just going to be talking to an empty warehouse there. So
talk to an empty studio.
I wonder how
Actually, no,
many-
you have Josh right here.
I wonder what the majority of locals will make up the crowd tonight. 'Cause if you stayed this long, you're going to the game. If you're Tennessee or Texas A&M, how many locals will be in attendance tonight?
I think very
A loyalist.
I think this is going to be a small percentage of the crowd that you see tonight. Maybe 15% of the crowd that you see tonight.
Season ticket holders, people just love baseball and will support the CWS no matter what.
They're so sad
that crowd.
today is the last day. People will leave. They will tear down the fan fest.
Yep.
And yet you'll still remain in the stands.
Just looking.
Wishing and
Disbelief.
hoping that something would be coming, but it won't. 9:31 on 1620 The Zone.
Gary Sharp, Nick Handley, and Jimmy Chavez. Mornings with Sharp and Handley. Weekdays 6 to 10. On 1620 The Zone and 1620thezone.com. The Connor Happer Show.
Grant Bricks' smile. Yeah, what do you think's going on? It's very big.
That looks like a guy who's just happy he ate 21 tacos.
He really does look pleased with himself.
The sunglasses, the giant sombrero, the whole thing. That guy walked over there from his house.
I'd like to all-you-can-eat tacos, please. And then he just said, keep them coming. We're back, baby.
The Connor Happer Show. Weekdays from 10 to 2 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast presented by Funplex Water Park and Rides from the KETV Newswatch 7 Weather Center on 1620 The Zone.
Mostly sunny, hot, humid, and breezy here for your Monday with a high this afternoon near 101 and a heat advisory in place from 1 p.m. to 8 p.m. with heat indices above 108. Southerly winds today gusting up to 25 miles an hour. A flood warning also goes into effect this afternoon along the Missouri River throughout eastern Nebraska and western Iowa until further notice. Partly cloudy tonight, a slight chance for a stray thunder shower, warm with a low of 74. I'm meteorologist Caitlin Harvey with KETV Newswatch 7.
Hi, this is Doug Nodgard with Equitable Bank. Great service never goes out of style. When the digital age dawned, many said computers would be able to handle many of the interactions that used to take a person. Boy, were they wrong. How many times have you called your bank and gotten a recording to press 1 or 2? Not at Equitable. Not only does Equitable answer your call on the first ring, it's answered by a human being. That's because Equitable Bank values its customers. Equitable Bank, we take banking personally. Member FDIC.
It's golf season, and that means it's time to start betting like a pro with the world's largest sportsbook right at your fingertips. Circa Sports Iowa. It's sports betting the way it should be. The odds makers with the lowest holds and the best odds for every tournament. Plus, high betting limits, exceptional customer service, and more. Fund and bet like a pro anywhere, anytime. It's never been easier. Get ready for all the biggest golf tournaments with Circa Sports Iowa. Visit circasports.com today. If you or someone you know may have a problem with gambling, call 1-800-238-7633.
I'm Dave Osted. And I'm Ryan Osted. Every golfer will get value from being custom fit. The truth is, the higher handicappers will get more value from being custom fit than the low handicappers.
It's changed so much since my dad started the business in 1963. We now have hundreds of thousands of dollars in technology, and we know exactly what the spin rate is, what the launch angle is. We encourage you to bring your current clubs in now, and we can compare it. And guys walk out of the store knowing that the purchase they just made is going to give them 21 more yards off the tee box. Play better, have fun, and shop Osted's.
Because you want to hear bacon and eggs on your outdoor griddle, not the scraping of rust. Introducing the Weber Slate Rust-Resistant Griddle. Stays ready, not rusty, with a carbon steel cooktop, pre-seasoned and ready to cook on right out of the box. The Weber Slate heats evenly edge to edge up to 500 degrees. All you'll hear is the gasp of amazement from friends and family when you serve the food. Cooking with the Weber Slate Rust-Resistant Griddle just sounds delicious and tastes even better.
Crackling Kirk's huge grand opening sale is June 25th through the 27th. Let's check in with Craig from Crackling Kirk's to see what's going on.
All right, yeah, we have tons of deals going on for our huge grand opening sale. Rainbow snow cone, $9.99. Huge, beautiful fountain. We have 3-inch, 9-on-a-board racks as low as $79.99. You're not going to find that deal anywhere else. Big win. Our premium 7-inch artillery shell kit, $109.99. How about this deal? 4 assorted 500-gram cakes, $88.88. And we got some beautiful new fountains in this year, just $5.99 each. Check us out for all these great deals.
Now, those are incredible deals. Go check them out. June 25th through July 4th from 10 to 10 in Waterloo at 301 South Front Street, in Springfield at 102 Main Street, and getkirks.com for all the specials and location info. Cracklin' Kirks, giving you more bang for your buck for more than 30 years. Getkirks.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/radio. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/radio and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free, with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio for your free online visit. hims.com/radio.
Now back to mornings with Sharp and Handley on 1620 The Zone.
All right. Really good sports day today. The College World Series comes to an end. Game 3, winner take all. Tennessee, Texas A&M. Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final. I've been this excited for Game 7 since the Penguins beat the Red Wings in 2009. Also a series in which the Pens were behind 2-0, and it took a Marc-Andre Fleury great save at the end of Game 7 against Lidstrom to preserve the Penguins, winning Sid the Kid's first Stanley Cup.
Damn, it's been 15 years since that.
You also, I know.
My last cup title with the team that I rooted for was in a Game 6. That was 2015 Chicago.
Mine is tonight. Go Oilers.
We are all Canadian tonight.
Yes, we are.
And also 3 Nebraska alums are pitching in the majors today, starting. So that's a good day. We had a question here. I'll direct this to you two because you guys are the pop culture experts of the show.
Many have said.
This is from Bill in the Equitable Bank inbox. He said, you guys are talking about celebrities that have made their way into Omaha for the College World Series. Considering that Tennessee is playing tonight, do you think the Hawk Tua girl will be at the game?
She should be.
So I don't know if she's a Tennessee fan, but she's from Nashville.
It was in Nashville, yeah.
Yeah.
Tua on that.
Are you familiar with this, Jimmy?
That thing is
I've
real.
been seeing it, and I
Okay,
got sent
Nick,
a meme by one of my friends.
Nick, explain it to Jimmy and the rest of our listeners that are unfamiliar with this.
Because I know Oilers flasher.
Young lady that has gone viral, which she is not a preschool teacher.
No.
So that was debunked.
Yeah.
Because they said after this viral video, she got fired. But please explain who the girl is we are talking about that is enjoying her 15 minutes of fame.
Yeah. So you know how a lot of, whether it be bachelorette parties or just girls' night on the town in Nashville, get interviewed for random things and TikTok videos and what have you. She was interviewed, and the context of this was basically how to please your significant other. And she was talking about what you would do to certain things. And then she puts her hand out and says, then you go, Tua, put it on that thing. And
it explains the memes I was sent yesterday by my friend on Instagram completely. I was like, Hulu and Hawk Tua. What am I missed?
Better than them being sent by your wife.
I mean, she sends me TikTok.
I bet she does.
So, yeah, she is the Hawk Tua girl.
Why did she get fired?
Well, she did not. So people were trying to figure out who she was. They finally got her name, but someone said that she was an preschool or elementary teacher, and that's not true.
I mean, she's a teacher. I don't know if she's teaching.
All
kids.
I know is that, one of these points in my life, I'm gonna have to grow up. I would be mortified as a parent if that was my daughter.
Yes.
Nashville's own Haley Welch.
But in the same sense, we won't
No, not in the same sense. I'd be mortified as a parent.
Oh, as a
wouldn't
parent,
be
yeah,
like,
you're absolutely right.
I'd be like, hey, taught her well. I'd be like, oh my friggin' God.
But if there was a camera or a microphone put in your face after a night out in the bars when you were in your early 20s and somebody asked you a question, would you necessarily want that to go viral? There's probably things that I've said that I've probably like, oh, I don't recall saying that.
Oh, this freeze frame, I can see. She shouldn't be fired. She should be celebrated in Nashville.
Yeah.
Biggest hero since Neil O'Donnell came in for an injured Steve McNair week 2 of the 99 season to lead the Titans to the first of 3 victories against Jaguars.
No. She is stealing the spotlight from the Tennessee Titans ticket executive who got in trouble a couple of days ago for trying to sneak her boyfriend into a bar and then went bat blank. So basically what we're saying, Tennessee is located in Knoxville, but they have a large collection of Nashville fans that are here.
The Big Ten has a bowl there.
That if Tennessee wins tonight, they may tear down our town.
And maybe you'll see the Hawk Tua girl describing her best move.
What if the Huskers make the Music City Bowl? You can go meet her in person.
Yeah. You never know where the Hawk Tua girl is going to be.
She will be on this show in December.
I just say, man,
mark it down.
If I was a parent, I'd put her up for adoption. Can you do that at that age?
Sure, you can do it at any age.
I mean,
they surrender senior pets.
I don't know if you could legally disown her at that point when she's an adult, but I'm sure you could probably just
cut her off.
Yeah,
she doesn't inherit the Costco membership.
Okay, so
she's not on the family cell phone plan anymore.
On a serious note, I do have a friend who is just can't wait to get rid of his daughter.
Whoa!
Like it's trouble.
Can't wait till she moves out, is what you're saying.
Really trouble. I said, so what is she gonna do?
These are how true crime podcasts.
Like she want to go to college? What is? And he goes, I'm gonna buy her an apartment. I'm gonna give her $3,000 and then say that's it. And I was like, whoa. Now they have endured a lot with her, like just a lot.
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa, my.
She's taking him through the ringer.
And see, I was so stunned. I didn't have like a follow up to. How did you guys come up with $3,000?
Has she ever sold radio? Would she like a rewarding?
How do you land on that number? Is that too much? Is it too little? Is it the sweet spot? And do you feel very confident she'll be able to take that $3,000 and stay out of harm's way too? I mean, I don't know the story. I don't know her from anyone, but
you can double it.
I hope I'm not in that. I hope I'm legitimately bummed when Reese decides that.
Well, I hope you're sad, like you got the Modern Family. When they took Haley to college and they dropped her off and they were sad driving home. You want that?
Yeah, that's what I hope. I hope it's not like
you guys have any married friends, because when he comes back from college, there's another thing he can do that there's a movie about. And
what?
Excuse me? Just talking about The Graduate here. I mean, Reese doesn't have to.
I've never seen this, and I don't think
just because he leaves doesn't mean he can't come back. Benjamin came back.
Oh my goodness!
I don't think we're watching the same movie.
This is one where I don't think I've seen that you and I usually have seen this.
I'm
exact
shocked.
Same.
Quickly here before we take a break, we'll come back. We'll put a wrap on the show. Yes. If you are on the Nextdoor app, I don't care what part of Omaha you were in. Everybody was asking, what is that loud noise at about 6:00 Saturday night and about 1:00 yesterday? That's the F-16s. Okay.
Were people like on Nextdoor app concerned?
Yeah.
Remember it happened? No, they did the. What the hell happened
Randy's revenge.
when we were on the air on Saturday?
So they've
before
done
the
it.
actual
So they
flyover?
did it yesterday as well.
Yeah,
I don't.
It was
know.
not at the national anthem.
I don't know if they are. So they
test flights,
quote unquote. I get a better word. I don't know what a better word for this would be. They buzzed the tower about 30 minutes prior on Saturday night. They did it about an hour prior to yesterday. But both games. The F-16s have flown over.
Yeah.
So if you follow like the flight pattern, so they just basically circled downtown is what they did.
And then they're waiting to be on cue and in sync with the national anthem. Yeah, there's a lot that goes into that.
But the Nextdoor app, people all over were wondering what that loud noise was.
Okay. I thought they were wondering why are those planes flying over? I have not gotten an Amber
Well, there
alert.
were a lot of places you couldn't like. If you could still hear the F-16s, but you couldn't see them.
Yeah.
And people on the Nextdoor app
So
were
Jen
like,
and Reese
"What
were
is
on
going
top of the
on?"
Ferris wheel yesterday when it came over.
Really?
Yeah. She was filming him on it, and then she said she cut off the video right as it was coming over. I'm like, oh, that would have been amazing because they were right at the top too when it came over. I'm like, that would have
been a great video.
Yeah. I was like, damn it, that's pretty cool.
So for anybody that's on the Nextdoor app, that is, well, I think it was a sonic boom. I think fireworks have started in my neighborhood.
I did
have
have
the F-16s, and I think they're back again tonight.
It was either Thursday night or Friday night. I had one on the Ring app that had to do with someone was suspiciously putting dog feces in someone's front yard.
Was it a dog?
You people in
No.
Bennington.
I think someone was doing
craziness.
Might have been a neighbor on neighbor crime there. Of
They
like,
watch
you
Can't
know
Buy
what?
Me Love.
I'm going to show you.
You pooped in my house.
I was hoping if that was the case, there was going to be a flaming bag, because we know Old Man Rivers hates.
Yeah, I think kids today don't understand that
Yeah.
trick.
Also, there's drought many years, so you're kind of
Don't put it out with
shunned
your
upon.
boots, Ted.
You don't want to have open flames.
We're back to put a wrap on this show. 1620 The Zone.
Mornings with Sharp and Handley on 1620 The Zone and 1620thezone.com with Gary Sharp and Nick Handley.
Host is roasting every day. At Host Coffee, every cup of coffee served comes with a promise. A promise of quality, innovation, and a dash of fun. Ensuring your workday is as delightful as your coffee break. Call Host Coffee today.
Proudly serving Nebraska since 1972. Host Coffee is always roasting something good for you.
When it comes to protecting your home, J. Stennett Contracting takes pride in ensuring every detail is handled. Roofing, siding, gutters. When it comes to the exterior of your home, J. Stennett Contracting has you covered. Water, wind, and hail can wreak havoc on the exterior of your home. If your home is damaged, let J. Stennett Contracting come out for a no-obligation inspection. If repairs are needed, they will help you through every step of the process. When you need an honest assessment, J. Stennett Contracting has you covered. JSCRestoration.com.
Think about it. How prepared are you for the unexpected? Emergencies strike without warning, and we all know something big will be thrown at us soon. Being prepared makes all the difference. This means having a reliable food supply stored to use during tougher times. That's why at My Patriot Supply, we sell thousands of our 4-week emergency food kits every week. Each kit is packed with delicious, easy-to-prepare meals that provide over 2,000 calories per day. These kits are designed to stand by for up to 25 years, ready to use when you need them most. This week, save $50 on every 4-week emergency food kit you need. Simply go to mypatriotsupply.com and secure one for each family member. That's $50 off every 4-week emergency food kit. Order by 3 p.m. and your kit's shipped that same day. It's better to have emergency food than to need it and not have it. Shop mypatriotsupply.com. mypatriotsupply.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/radio. Through HIMS, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at HIMS, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/radio and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free, with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio for your free online visit. hims.com/radio.
ZZ Top, the Elevation Tour. October 1st, Liberty First Credit Union Arena. Play all their classic hits. ZZ Top. On sale now at libertyfirstcreditunionarena.com or at the box office.
Are you the decision maker in your company? Consider this. For the first time in decades, there's a better option for a corporate card and spend management platform. Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management system designed to help you spend less money so you can make more. Most corporate credit cards offer points as incentives, but those points amount to less than their worth in real cash value. Ramp's business cards offer you cash back, real money in your pocket. Plus, you control who spends what with each vendor. And Ramp's software collects and verifies receipts automatically, which means you'll stop wasteful spending and close your books in hours instead of days. Businesses that use Ramp add up to 5% to their bottom line the first year. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. And now get $250 when you join Ramp for free. Just go to ramp.com/sports. Ramp.com/sports. RAMP.com/sports.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
When it comes to concrete repair, Everlevel has some serious game. Coach Greg McDermott here to coach you on why you should choose Everlevel Concrete Repair. They've got the fundamentals to fix your cracked and uneven concrete, and their products will give you the best defense against future damage. It's a fraction of the price compared to replacement, and their solutions come with a long-term transferable warranty. Working with Everlevel is a slam dunk. Call Everlevel Concrete Repair today for your free inspection.
And we're back. Mornings with Sharp and Handley. Here's Gary, Nick, and Jimmy on 1620 The Zone.
A couple of things here to wrap up. One is about to be the Gary Sharp created bombshell.
Oh,
got you guys' attention, huh?
Yeah.
Jimmy, your
Gary?
football program. This is a good scholarship offer. I don't know that Nebraska is going to offer him a scholarship, but Millard South wide receiver Amarian Jackson has just been offered by KU.
Come on down. I know some places to eat.
Big 12 making their way into Omaha. Congratulations. Garen Molly, who was a lineman over at Papillion La Vista, committed to Texas Tech yesterday.
Hey,
9, my math is right, 9 Power 4 commitments out of the state of Nebraska. But that's a good offer. I mean, at the Millard South, like the West Side roster last couple of years, is going to produce multiple college football players. The Millard South roster will as well. That's a good offer for KU. Again, I don't know if Nebraska is going to offer the speedster from Millard South. Now, here is the Gary Sharp created bombshell that I told you earlier in the show. We have major college baseball news. David Pierce has been fired at Texas. So, I just want everybody to know this.
The connections.
The athletic director at Texas used to be at TCU. The former baseball coach at TCU is now the baseball coach at Texas A&M.
They know each other.
They know each other.
They're friends on
Very
Facebook.
well.
Yeah.
They follow each other on X.
So, if you are a baseball coach who has, and you are very familiar with Jim Schlossnagle, and now Jim Schlossnagle has a new boss that did not hire him.
Yep.
But it's Texas.
Yep. And you're going to be in the Southeastern Conference, where he's very familiar.
You're
89 miles apart.
If you are single, the scene in Austin is probably better than College Station or Bryan College Station.
I've been to Austin. I've not been to College Station. So
nice people.
I can say Austin is pretty vibrant. Yeah.
Austin's fun.
This is about to get wild. Texas baseball. And here's the thing, though, man. Whether David Pierce deserved to get fired or not, they did him a little bit dirty because Texas season, remember, they got knocked out in the College Station region.
Yeah.
So Texas baseball has been over for a few weeks. The portal is active. I don't know. Watch this. I mean, one of the best jobs in all of college baseball is now open. And, it's Kendall has been talking about this is probably going to happen. It's now official. But where will they go from here? Will they look to the guy that's going to coach in the national championship game tonight?
Have they already had a conversation before saying, hey, if we're going to do this, we're going to do it?
I don't know.
Knowing that we have
even
you in place.
You've only been here for 3 years. You now have a new boss who Trev's not really a baseball guy. You are getting $80 million in improvements to your stadium, but it's Texas. It's Texas to Texas A&M. If that opportunity arises.
Now you understand the hate.
Especially if A&M wins the national title tonight, how that is going to go over between the two.
That's such a Texas thing. I can't wait till they play in November.
Would Texas contact Brian O'Connor?
Ooh.
I mean, if they're smart, they would.
Always make them tell you no.
If they're smart, they would do that.
All right. Yeah, that'll add a little intrigue to the College World Series tonight. And I'm going to guess by this music that
Tennessee, baby!
Channel Andy Kelly, Alvin Harper.
We will
Chuck
be partying with the Tennessee fans in the streets of Omaha.
Yes, sir.
While we are sweating our you-know-what's off.
It is 1620 the Swamp Ass.
Yeah. Have fun, everybody. USC is down at Omaha Baseball Village. And then we have the game beginning at 6. And the college baseball season is over. Great day of sports. Enjoy the extra innings. I mean, we might as well go 13, 14. Let's go 15 tonight. And then let's go 3 overtimes in Sunrise, Florida, where Edmonton comes up short against Florida.
No!
And it's just a footnote.
Gosh, this is the Florida you talking.
We'll talk to you tomorrow at 6.
That's your hockey.